timed off again. Just tweak that.
No, the battery was just changed.
All right. Okay. All right. It being 5:32, we're going to call the Tilton Northfield Fire and EMS budget workshop meeting to order. All right. So let's jump into it. How far down are we?
If you go to page 3, because all these things are set already.
These are all fixed.
The insurances.
Oh, we got it back already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Jump. Oh. Yeah.
Wasn't registering right then and there until I looked at.
210?
Yeah.
Yep, the first one that you haven't done is legal expense, and then it goes right into the insurances.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'll make a motion for legal expense for $30,000, foot line 4153. Motion at least.
A second.
Okay. Let's go after it. How much have we expended? So far it's 1266.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's at the end of October.
Okay.
That's it?
Yes,
Yeah, but
right.
let me ask this question. If Saturday doesn't go well,
True.
we don't know when we'll be in court, do we?
It won't be right away.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if we need to worry about putting something into a jury, a in-person trial is going to be fairly expensive. I don't know.
Yes, that would be expensive. But Attorney Fitzgerald believes that the next court action, if Saturday doesn't go well, will be a collection of debt per court order somehow. It says they'll bring it to court. They'll turn it around and sue us for.
They're already trying to.
Well, they're trying to do also the
Liens.
the tax lien. So he believes in his conversation with their attorney that they'll pursue every avenue possible to start getting money out of us.
Well, who would actually pay? I mean, they're taking us to court, so they should pay. Is that right?
But yes, they'll pay for their attorney, but we have to pay for our attorney. In the end, hopefully, our attorney's already filed motions to ask for reasonable attorney fees to be paid by the Water District. And if we prevail, he feels that's a good likelihood of us getting that. Not 100% by any means, and it could be nothing, but that motion's already been filed.
I mean, I understand they're desperate, but that's not our problem for the situation we're in.
It's not. But we still have to protect ourselves.
Absolutely. And December is when, so isn't December when a jury trial was supposed to be, and we can finally finish this thing up?
Late November.
November,
Oh,
last week of November, first week of December, but I believe that's been pushed off because of the special district meeting that the special
We didn't ask to
district,
push it off, though.
no, the judge, my understanding is the judge filled up the calendar with other stuff because we're having a special district meeting.
He thought it would be resolved, and so he filled the
Yes,
gaps.
so the
Okay.
judge is actually female, and she thought that the special district meeting would, fix the problem. Because we came to a mediated agreement, and
Right. We came to a mediated agreement, and then filing after filing has been thrown at us.
I don't know.
I'm just worried about,
The cost.
I would hope 30,000 is enough, but
I did query Attorney Fitzgerald if we do go to court, what would that cost be? And I think I sent it to you guys.
I don't remember.
But I don't
Sorry.
remember, but I think it was in the order of $20,000,
Okay.
off the top of my head.
and there's no way to, like, okay, if let's say we go to 15,000 for the year, that won't happen, but if that happens, we can't encumber that extra 15 into 20.
No.
No.
We can always, if we, at the end of next, say you only put 15 in this account for next year and we overexpend it, I can look for other places within the budget to offset that expense where maybe I would underexpend, or if I know we're gonna be overexpending in a bunch of line items, I look at in the budget and say, okay, we're not gonna do this or we're not gonna do that, to try to live within the budget that we have. Hopefully also they'll approve the contingency fund, which the commissioners have control of in case for one reason or another I can't really make it by internal cuts. And then there's always, after that, we can request from DRA to overexpend.
Well, the other side of this is if we're successful on Saturday, could we lower that number?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
So that's why I just wondered if it ever being premature and voting on that number tonight.
Yeah, why don't we put it off till next
We
week?
have 2 more workshops, I think, scheduled.
Yeah.
So that's an option, to put it off until the last one. At least get through Saturday and we'll have a better
I think
feeling.
it was
We
a
have
bit-
one more workshop scheduled.
Only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one is it?
Next
On the-
Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, the 15th.
15th.
We'll either be licking our wounds or,
Okay.
that was just my thought.
No, that's actually not a bad one at all, because
What did you say it was, next Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Yes.
5:30.
the 15th?
Yes.
We might have to look for a place to.
Oh, I had the 16th too, no?
The 16th, we have a budget committee meeting.
Okay,
Regular budget.
I have it labeled wrong,
Now,
sorry.
who does it? That's not built.
No, the budget committee is
The budget.
the budget committee.
Okay,
in your,
okay, I just.
And Eric,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, but I have it labeled wrong, so I'm just gonna say, I'll take the word commissioners out. That's at 5:30 or 5?
5:30.
Here.
Will that
No,
work?
it's Tilton PD.
yours is, okay.
Is that Tilton PD?
The budget committee is here.
Okay,
It's Tuesday that we don't know where it's gonna be yet.
okay.
Tuesday the 15th,
The 15th, yes.
okay. Because our meeting Wednesday is here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just relabeling everything, because
Alright.
I didn't call you today, because, you know.
I know.
I'll rescind my motion for line 4153. You want to rescind your second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll resend my second.
All right, so, yeah, we'll put that one.
You can highlight that for next meeting.
Yes,
That's a better idea.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yep. All right, so the next one, if we're going down that, is line 4155, personal administration. All right, since no one really wants to jump at it.
I'll jump at it.
You sure? I'll take
Only
the.
because I want to go for discussion on
Yep,
something.
okay.
So I'm going to take group line 210, 210.1, and 211,
Full amount,
full amount,
okay, for the 306.
361,
361,
282.
okay. I'll second it.
What's 211? That looks like a new line.
That's the health insurance deductible reimbursement.
Okay. I just don't see it in the other
Yeah,
one.
we have-
You don't, because we have the expendable trust fund, and
Oh,
Stephanie recommended that instead of having an expendable trust fund, that we add it right into the budget.
oh,
So it's up to you on whether you want to do that.
I got you.
So it's there for discussion.
So and this is instead of the
Expendable
fund.
trust fund, yes,
So the expendable trust fund,
will go away.
It's actually in our checking account. It's just a,
sub full, or sub
yeah,
amount.
it's
Yes.
moving paper around.
And is there a certain balance on that expendable trust fund?
Currently, we put 5,500 in, we make sure that the balance is 5,500 every year.
So we take whatever, every year, we take whatever, so if there was $4,200 left in it, or $4,500 left in it after
We
this
would
year?
add in 1,000 to
Or
bring it
only
back.
1,000, okay.
I think last year was around 1,500, I think,
Yeah,
somewhere we
somewhere
put
around
in,
there.
back in there.
That's what was throwing me off, I'm like, I always thought it was a lower
Yeah.
amount, so.
Yeah.
So anything, if we did it in this manner, anything unexpended would roll back into the unreserved fund balance.
But that mean,
Or
does that mean that
whatever
we're,
the hell it's called.
does that mean that we're always going to be having to raise and appropriate $5,500?
No, well,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
As that line every, or, well, so the amount of 50, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so if we have leftover, again, it just goes to the unassigned fund balance.
Right,
And can you specifically put a motion to take 55 or whatever the amount is and put it,
Warrant article.
or it'd have to be a warrant article, wouldn't it?
right, which is what we do
So
now.
it doesn't make sense to.
Okay.
Trying to get rid of warrant articles, but
Yeah.
this is one of the way of doing them, but if you prefer to stay.
Well, no, I just don't know if people can, like, they're used to, all right, every year we ask for a certain amount, and it's really not a lot, but now,
Right.
now we're gonna have to raise and appropriate $5,500
5,500, yes, so it looks.
every
yeah.
year.
So it looks,
So it makes, it makes total sense.
I mean, it was easy last year, I think it was 1,500 around.
Yeah, something
I
like
remember
that.
that, because I think I took that article.
Yeah, nobody ever,
Yeah.
Nobody even questioned it.
nobody ever questions.
No, but it's like a, it's like in the town, you put in, $15,000 every year for new equipment. And you just do it,
Right,
so that when, the back comes off the dump truck and it rusted out, oh, we got money to buy a new one.
right,
Or get it fixed.
right.
And it seems a lot cheaper than on the taxpayers than having to tell them every year, we're gonna come up with $5,500. Well, we have a history of not spending $5,500, but now we have to. Because it just goes back. I mean, it's great for the unassigned fund balance, but it doesn't really help.
Right, right now, we have $5,500 in that account, and I have to present to the trustees the amount of money that we need back out of that, so, every year. But then, at district meeting, we asked to reimburse, bring it back to that amount. So, either way, it was just, bring it up for discussion. If you don't like it, we'll leave it where it is, and we'll write a warrant article for it.
I kind of liked the way it was, I mean, it didn't sound like,
I don't like it.
I don't like this
Okay.
here.
I just don't like it, because now we have to ask for $5,500 every year.
That's not an issue.
Nothing against you guys, I think it was easier just to say, oh, we only need $1,500 this year.
It was a suggestion, we can remove it from the,
So that's a,
What's the max amount it's ever been?
Expense wise.
Just ballpark.
yeah, like, where's the 5,500 come from? Is it like, what contingency
No,
fund is a
it's-
percentage of something?
Yeah, so we have a liability that's a
Huge.
lot higher than that.
Okay, just trying to understand it.
I think the most we've ever spent is somewhere near $4,000.
4,500.
Okay, so that's why you have the, okay.
Right,
That's what I was trying to figure out is what the value was, because lately you were just saying like 1,400 and things like that, so.
right, and that's why we keep it at 5,500, but there's gonna come, because of our liability, there's gonna come a day when, keep your fingers crossed that we don't go over that. Because our liability on that is 12,500.
So,
If everything happens,
so let's say the planet's aligned, and all of a sudden next year we got to cough up $12,000. Where's that difference, the $7,000 difference come from?
Wherever we can find it in the
right,
Okay, so it's not like, because it's a trust fund, it doesn't.
yeah,
No, there's
and that's only
only
$5,500
$5,500
max.
Yeah, okay,
So anything over that, we would have to take and find in the budget.
okay.
The other way of handling it is bringing up the trust fund to our maximum allowable,
Maximum liability
maximum liability, and then refunding it every year
to that amount.
to that amount.
I think that would be even worse.
Well, you could take it out of the unreserved fund balance to bring it to that point, so it's not a
Which is what we
taxation
do
thing.
now.
And that's what we do now. It would be a warrant article thing. You could do it in steps until you get to that point too. You could do, 1,500 this year, 1,500 next year and stuff until it gets to that point minus, you know, or plus whatever we spent the previous year.
I just see everyone's gonna go with a blank, 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 wait, 5,500?
Yeah, so it's not has to be explained why, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna amend my motion, not my emotion, my motion.
Would you like me to just delete that line right out of there?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm only one of three.
My thoughts is almost going to the warrant article, because people are gonna look at that, well, what, you only use $1,400, so what are you gonna do with the other 36 you got, or whatever.
right,
40, you're gonna pocket that away, you're gonna use it elsewhere, where if it's a warrant article, it says up to this amount, and it can even come from the unassigned fund balance in the warrant article, I believe we can.
which it always has.
Right, so that way it's coming from a non-taxable source, and it's identified up to a cap from that non-new taxable source, I think.
When do we pay that out?
In December. We wait until December to make sure that everybody has requested reimbursement of their deductible,
Yeah.
and then we pay it out. The last meeting of the year that the trustees have, I'm quickly pulling all the information together.
That's what.
I just think it's better for the public to see that, and then they can discuss it if they want, but with this, because that's one of the things that we do get beat up on, well, that's extra money, what are you gonna do with that extra money, and it's taxable money this way, whereas that is coming from that already fund.
Is it, like, if we say no or pull it out, is it really up to the budget committee?
No, the budget committee didn't put it in.
Okay.
It
So if we
was
say,
just-
if we
it
say
was-
take it out.
it was a
then it goes to
recommendation.
budget.
Yep.
And if, you know, so we put it in there to see what you guys thought, and if you decided you didn't want it, we just take it out, because it hasn't gone to the budget committee.
Oh, okay. No, I can see the pros and cons of it, but I kind of, like Eric said, is just put it to the warrant article. That way it's very transparent to the public, is my 2 cents of it, that they see what it is, and
Well, it's just, they're used to doing it.
That is true, they are used to that.
Well, we had this discussion on the town side where there was a warrant article that we weren't gonna fund this year. We were like, well, they're used to doing it, and all of a sudden you pull away for a year, you're gonna have a hard time getting it back in next year.
Mhm.
well, we saw what changing things up 2 years ago did for us.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, I'm just saying.
We found salt. I think we're still looking at one.
We're still taking a beating from you. What's your thoughts? You're being quiet over there
No, I just want to leave it where, not here, but.
as a
back
warrant
as a
article.
warrant article.
Let's do that.
All right, then I'm going to delete this line right now.
Yep.
That'll make it 356, 282.
Thank you, because that was gonna be the next question.
355, 782.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You did 5,000.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm not a good mathematician, but I know that one wasn't right.
Okay, and what do people think about the other things before we finalize this one?
The group health insurance is
Yeah.
up 11.7.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, last year it went down.
It went down almost that same percent.
Yes, it did,
So really it took 3%
yes.
in 2 years.
Well,
Which, considered, all things considered,
All things considered, it's not bad.
So if we didn't have the dip last year, it probably would have been only up like 5.
Like 3%.
Really, that much for
Yeah, over the
Yes.
50,000?
If you look past over the past 5 years, its average is about 3% too.
Okay. So it's really, well, it's taken a hit this year because of the economy, but
It's actually not. It's, what had happened is during COVID, nobody went to get their, other than emergency health care,
right.
that was the only thing they did. No one was going to the hospital. So in that year, when they figured out the rates for the following year, there was a vast over collection of insurance premiums that weren't used. So they said, well, we had to reduce the rates. So then the last year, everything's back to normal. They're going back to the healthcare physicians to have all the stuff that they didn't have done, so there's an overabundance or overuse of the health insurance system. So they had to jack it back up.
They got a paper cut, they need to go to the hospital. Right, pretty much.
Yep. So you can blame it on COVID.
Why not? Everything else gets blamed for everything.
Well, that's how they explained it to me when I went to the meeting.
It makes sense though, because I know that, like, they kind of use that, my company, you know, it was lower and lower, and now it's coming back up because everyone's, you know, breaking legs again and all that.
It's gone up about $50-something thousand.
Mhm. And then the insurance opt-out has trended. Was that just back in 2020? That was
Is that based on a percentage,
What?
the insurance opt-out?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Okay.
It's the district's portion of the single-person plan.
single person, okay. And
It doesn't matter if they qualify for the family or the two-person.
Yeah.
And does the Safer Grant cover those four?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is just our 12.
No,
12
this
normal.
is
Oh, and-
everybody, because we have to raise it before we get it. The SAFER reimburses.
Okay,
That's at the end, the safer stuff,
okay.
where we get money.
So this insurance opt-out, the percentage we're paying is actually like 17, 18 people altogether. No, because
No.
you
No.
got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Right.
Beth, of the
20
part-time gets it
employee,
too?
no.
No, Beth
Okay.
doesn't have,
Okay.
she's not eligible for it.
So in other words, this covers all 20 of them,
19.
19.
Yeah,
and we get the government pays us, or somebody pays us
For four of them.
for them.
reimbursement before.
Yeah, do you have any idea what we get reimbursed?
It's an average of $17,000 per safer employee.
Person.
So 34.
How much?
So 68.
Well,
1,000?
Yeah, because it's an average of all our plans. They don't look at the safer employees' health insurance as, are they a single, a double, or a family? They look at, see what the range is between single and family, and they do an average of that, and that's the allotment they give us in our reimbursement funds towards health insurance.
so it, somewhere's around $80,000, maybe?
Well,
Well, that's, yeah, but we may not collect all of
Right.
it, because what the actual, they give us an allotment of 17, but if we only use 9,
They only
That's
give
all
us
they
They're
give
not-
us.
they're not
Right.
paying up
but
to
the
what
other
you use.
17 is still in the bank for other purposes within this SAFER grant. Like, the amount of money we get from the SAFER doesn't go away until we use it all up, but we have to use it all up within those 3 years.
so in other words, this is for all 19. What, we get reimbursed, where would the money go? Back into,
It goes back against these expenses. So we spend the money, they reimburse us. So we have to raise and appropriate the money.
I understand that.
So this year so far, if it's any help, we've received $305,857 back. But that has to cover salaries,
Is that all right?
insurances,
I'm like, wait a minute,
That's everything.
that's
Oh,
everything.
okay, I'm like, wait, our insurance is like 269 here.
Right, that is everything,
Right. That's what we do, yeah.
but that hasn't been broken down into the different categories.
No.
That just comes in as that.
You have to shake your head.
But about 80,000 theoretically is the insurance of the 4. Is that what you had said? Or, no, 17, so it'd be
17,
68,
or-
about 68?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be 34, 68.
Yeah,
So 68,000 approximate
right,
would be reimbursed for the group health insurance for the safer people.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Insurance opt-out of the 86,000, is there any impact from safer on that?
Yes, that includes those that opt out. Currently we have 2 savers that opt out and 2 savers that opt in.
Okay.
If we could get everybody to opt out, we'd be doing really well. But that's not gonna happen.
So with the opt-out, is there a reimbursement for that as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, of about
That's in-
17 or?
Yeah, that's included in that reimbursement. It's the, you
Because
know,
you
it's
two, it's actually 30, so it's 34 for one and 34 for the other?
roughly, yes.
Okay, all right, that's where I was, didn't, Put it together.
So that's 0.
yeah. And these are fixed numbers that are not negotiable, this comes from our plans and
That's
Yes.
it, yeah.
That's from Primex.
No,
No.
Health
Health
Trust.
Trust.
Health Trust, thank you, yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
so it's pretty
I was
much,
gonna say Sun Trust, but that's from something else.
these are the numbers that you got and pretty much not really negotiable.
Right,
Okay.
There's really not many options.
no.
Right.
Take your cable bill. You got options, but they're,
You really don't.
no, you don't.
There you go.
Okay,
You think you do, but you don't.
got any more thoughts?
No. No?
It's the barrel.
All right, so do you want to,
I amended my motion.
you amended your motion to minus that, so you amended your motion to the overall sum of 355,782.
Yep.
Okay, and I seconded it. So since you amended, so we'll vote on the amendment to adjust it from 361,282 to 355,782. All in favor of the amendment? Aye.
Aye.
All right, so now, back to the original motion as amended for line 4155.
No, it's just section 210.
Oh, I'm sorry, section 210 of that. Oh, that count, okay. For section 210, for the amended amount of 355,782. Any other discussion?
I'll second it.
You already,
Oh, yeah.
you admit.
Sorry.
Any other
It's a long
discussion?
day.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So
Should I just oppose it just for fun?
you could. All right.
Another day of it.
What am I feeling? All right. Next one is line 215.
I'll make a motion, we accept line 215.01, short-term disability, up 5%.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Discussion.
This whole 215 group is, again, where the total of $15,013 is just what we have to pay. It's not shopping around type of thing.
Massachusetts 35 insurance.
Actually, well, yes, you can do one at a time.
You can do one at a time, or we can do that if you want. All right.
Oh,
I know it's more typing for you. Sorry. Blame him. He's the one that made the motion.
actually, Beth does the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Beth.
We'll take out our little palm voodoo doll.
All right, so it's been motion made and seconded for .01 in the amount of 3,009. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 3-0. All right.
I'll make motion 215.02, group line of duty,
Second.
$4,675.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 3-0. Keep going.
I'll make motion line 215.03, New Hampshire State Fire Insurance for $1,400.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0 again.
I'll make a motion line 215.04, life insurance for $2,847.
Second.
And EP. All right. Any more discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. All right. Last
You
one.
want to do this one, Eric?
Sure. Make a motion we approve line 215.05, long-term disability for $3,082.
I'll second it.
Oh, you broke the string.
I'm sorry. Okay. Any discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. And you gotta make fun where you can.
I'm gonna post something somewhere on here, just for.
No, just, okay. All right, so next one is line 220 for Social Security.
Social Security is based upon salaries and wages, so until you decide salaries and wages,
Okay.
we can't
We
decide
should
these.
bypass these next three, unless you decide that.
Yeah, no, we're, okay.
Now, salaries and wages, we do need to have you decide soon, because it's open enrollment, which means that I have to provide the employees with what is going to cost them for their benefits, what's coming out of their paychecks every week.
Yeah. When's the open enrollment close?
It, December 1st. It has to be done by.
$1 million.
So if you could at least start the process, we can get it done quicker that way. Page 4.
Yeah, yeah. Just look at something else. So is that really all that's left until we get down to 10? You really, because you had one.
There's just a couple
There's a
lines
couple.
here and there,
Mhm.
until we get to the apparatus and equipment fund.
Page 4 is the water
The
is
water.
next.
Yep,
Mm.
yep. Well, this is pretty much our fill lines and such.
Yes.
Right.
This is our best
This is our domestic and
fill
our.
lines.
Yes.
Now, what rate did you think adjust this for on the fill lines? Because I know that they have a higher fill line
They
rate than
gave
this.
us a rate and we used that. We only have one bill, but we tried to figure out what it would look like over the course of a year on one bill. So it may be a little different in the end, but that's all the sampling that we have.
So Center Street domestic is less than Center Street fill?
No.
I mean, the
No.
other way around, I meant the other way around, the
The other way
fills.
around, yes.
Oh, because you use the domestic over there more than you do the fill.
Yes.
Right,
And over at Park Street, you only get that one bathroom that's hardly ever used, which is why that's so low.
right.
Okay. So, do we want to go at 412? Or table it? I'm comfortable going with it, but
I'm fine with it.
I'll make a motion, we just approve lines 412.01, .02, .03, and .04 for a total of $2,562.
okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. Discussion on it?
Do we use both of them equal, Center Street and Pack Street fill lines? They're
No, I believe we use Park Street fill line more.
You'd think it'd be, well.
Because after a fire, you would have to go over there for your cascade refill of your air packs anyways.
Yep.
So you would have to put your first due in service kind of over there first.
Exactly.
So you'd think Center Street would be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a little cheaper, but not, what, $40, $38?
It's our best guess. It's our first year with it.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
So like today, we had a fire on Silver Lake Road where we used engine 3 and used the tank water there. We didn't fill it at Park Street, we just went back to Center Street and filled it there. But if we had used, air tanks or anything like that, we would have filled it up over there. Just
Right.
Because,
You're already putting it in service over there, might as well put the whole thing in service.
right.
Okay.
That's fine.
Tell us what.
Yep. You was
I'm
okay.
okay with that.
You good with it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on it? Any good, he's good, okay, all in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye, 3-0.
I told him on Facebook, it's the easier way to get into the lawnmower.
We got a few salaries, we got a couple of small ones that clear out, because salaries, once we start, we're kind of committed.
Gas, you know.
7.
7.
Yep, the gas meters, there's questions on the sensors and things like that, I think is what we had sent back with Deputy Baldini.
Yes. So I inquired of Captain Ames, who's in charge of that and develops that budget. And the reason we didn't spend that much this year is that we spent a lot at the end of this year, so there's some residual supplies left. And you never know what you're really gonna need, because it depends upon how many times you use the meters, how much calibration gas you need, which sensors are gonna go as the O2 sensor, you know. So keep a little stock of them inside, and that's what he told me he thinks he's gonna need over the course of next year, but it's a good guess.
Okay.
It's not an exact number.
I noticed last it was 348, and then it was 280 before that.
Yep.
Then it was 22 to 75 in between there, so.
Right. So that's why it's just trying to figure out. It almost seems like every other year has a significant bump.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion for line 630.110 for the 15/7, 1,570 for discussion.
Second.
Get it out there. So how, I know Deputy Baldini told us a couple of weeks ago how many meters this was, but do you have that count again? Sorry.
So we have 3 meters, the PID meters that are one in the engine, in both engines, and one in the ladder. Then we also have CO meters on all our first 2 bags and things like that. And we have, that's pretty much it.
I thought you had more than that, because you have 3 first-in bags,
Yeah,
and then you had 3 of the PID multi-gas meters. Sorry for bringing you back to that one. He had mentioned it, but I believe there was a few additional ones. These are not personal CO or personal meters on each year.
no,
These are the big multi-4 gas and the 3 COs.
yep.
For some reason, I thought there was more than 6. I know those sensors are not cheap, and it was for the multi-gas calibration, the meters.
The gas is expensive.
Yep. Intrinsic batteries. How are the batteries on those things? Because they have to be pretty much unscrewed, taken apart for the battery swap out.
Yep. They haven't mentioned to me that they need batteries this year. I know the personal CO monitors, did 2 years and throw them away.
Right.
I don't have that paperwork.
Okay.
I can tell you. exactly.
Sorry. Yeah, he had brought it, and I have it in a different packet because I wrote down the notes that night. But because do you get 1 bottle of gas for the year or 2 bottles of calibration gas
2.
when you stock up? So that you can get 2 bottles each year, and that is expensive for gas calibration.
Yes. And the sensors aren't cheap either.
No.
They go for anywhere from, depending upon which sensor,
Mhm.
anywhere from like almost $200 to $350 per sensor.
Right. Without all 4 working perfectly, you can't use it. All right. What are the thoughts on that?
I mean, if that's what it takes, I guess,
I know a little bit about them.
yeah.
Not enough to be an expert, but some. What do you got? Okay. Having no other discussion, all right. Line 630.110, gas meter calibration, gas and sensors for the amount of $1,570. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Level funded it too. So.
Yep. The next one, we'll just knock out these small ones so that we can. Your striker cots, there was, I don't remember what the take-home question was for that.
The take-home question was for that, how much does it cost for each device? So we have 2 power cots, 2 stair chairs, and 2 pro loads, which is the track on the floor of the ambulance, because they charge the batteries and stuff like
Stair
that.
chairs too?
Yeah,
That's part of this striker to each perform. Oh, okay, I see where your stair chair is, because there's no power for that.
no, but they still have to
Okay.
service them and
Yep.
make sure they're okay. So the cost for each power cot is $1,410 times 2 is $2,820. The cost for each stair chair is $253 times 2 is $506. And the cost for each power pro load, professional load, is $744 times 2 is $1,488 for a total of $4,814.
So this is a service contract you have. to do that.
That's Stryker.
And Stryker has this as part of, to keep them warned, keep a warranty on them.
Now, that's no parts or anything.
It's if under normal wear and tear, they replace normal wear and tear items, but if we break it, like
Misuse.
misuse, we own that one.
Okay, so it does cover the normal use, okay, parts.
Battery swap outs as required, or batteries separate?
Batteries are separate. We have to buy the batteries separately.
And are these batteries like the little mini 12 volts, or are these intrinsic or
These-
internal? Or?
These are proprietary batteries. They're actually made by DeWalt, but they're proprietary. You can't buy them from DeWalt directly. You have to buy them through Stryker.
Because DeWalt makes them do those certain things. And
Well, when you
Service.
go to slide a DeWalt battery in there, it looks like it's going to go, but it doesn't.
They put enough of a piece on there to
Yeah.
prevent it.
things that they do that, do
So that's why everything else we have is, we've gone to Milwaukee and made sure the tools take the Milwaukee, we can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a Milwaukee battery and just slap it into the, any of the tools or the fans and things like that, so. But Stryker's their own thing.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion on that one.
Make a motion, we approve line 631.11, Stryker, 2 each, per flow chairs and cots, $4,814.
I'll second it.
Paul second it. Any other discussion or question on it? Okay, none heard, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0. Okay.
Next item on that page is gasoline.
On that page?
Oh, yeah.
No, we haven't done gasoline yet.
Gasoline, diesel, vehicle returns.
Oh, it wasn't yellow, that's why, okay.
That's because you stopped here.
Okay. I was just going through and looking, all right, well.
Look at that diesel already.
Yeah.
That's through October?
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gasoline's on the way back up now.
Mhm.
Diesel, they're saying, it's gonna be brutal because of the shortage.
Well,
I guess there's an East Coast
it's,
shortage.
well, it's that and OPEC decided to tighten up. They wanted to make it a shortage to keep the pricing up, because pricing started to come
Yeah,
back
'cause
down, and
they're making money.
they're kind of pissed off at us, so, for one thing. or
Who
another.
isn't pissed off at it?
All right.
I think Ukraine kind of, the Ukrainians like us.
No, not completely.
So 8.5, I mean,
Is there
Wow.
a flavor to go at these two? I mean, that's not gonna change in 2 weeks, I don't think.
How do we determine prices?
So there, if you go on the,
CPI.
yeah, the CPI, which is the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, you go through what they're predicting, what has happened and what they're predicting. Then we take what we've used over an average for the last 3 years, come up with, take those two numbers and multiply them together, and that's what you get.
I know this is just a dumb question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways, because if I don't, someone else will. Maybe not here, but. So we have relatively 3 brand new diesel powered pieces of equipment, right? Is the ambulance diesel?
Yes.
So hopefully we'll have, do they get better fuel efficiency? Or is it, I mean, are you just talking a diesel, I mean, they're just,
So the diesel ambulances are the Ford 6.7 liter diesel.
I mean, it doesn't matter what it is.
I don't know how efficient they are compared to older diesels. The newer engines are supposed to be more efficient,
Yeah.
but the displacement of these engines are a little bit bigger than the older displacements, so it might be a wash in that respect.
9 miles versus 8 miles. Okay. Let's have asked the question, please.
Yeah. No, because someone else might, and at least you've asked it ahead of time. All right. Gonna rip the Band-Aid. I'm gonna make a motion for line 635 for gasoline at $9,080.
I will second it.
All righty. Any other discussion other than what we understand so far? None? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Yes, it does. And I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off the other one unless someone else wants to.
You know what, I'll take it.
Okay.
Take one for the team. Make a motion to approve line 636 diesel, $39,303.
All right. I'll second it.
I was waiting for Paul a second.
Yeah.
You think,
Yeah.
this is the one that bothers me.
Okay. well,
$20,000 more, it just, and I understand, but, God,
Painful.
that is painful.
Yeah, so the CPI says it's gone up almost 100% over the average of the past previous 3 years, and that's how you get to that number. And we sorely underpredicted what would happen this year. Hopefully, we sorely overpredict
Right.
on this, and we won't be spending that, but we're overexpending on those lines now.
Yes, yeah, yeah. You want that in the minutes too? The wow.
Very painful.
I'd like the record to note.
They're over. Wow.
Yeah,
Before you hit the floor. No.
It's what it is.
Yeah. I just hope that it's an overbid and it
So
goes
do I.
back into the fund next year would be a great thing. If the budget on what we know.
yeah, I'm kidding, right?
All right. Any other discussion?
Lord, no.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's 3-0 reluctantly.
Let the record show. Just kidding. Sort of.
All right.
Vehicle repairs.
Vehicle repairs. How do we want to do this one?
So
Go for it.
the items from like 01 through 20 are items that I know we're gonna be spending money on. They're scheduled services, maintenance and repairs, tires, things like that. The wild card in this whole thing has always been the other, which I budgeted at 20, being that most of our vehicles now are new and well-maintained. I don't predict that we're gonna have a whole lot of overage, other than, you know, every once in a while we have to buy a few more tires than I expect. So I expect, you know, this number that we have now at 25,000, bring it down 5,000, and the overall expenditure because of our newer vehicles is down 10,000 approximately.
So essentially, just to clarify that I heard, it's 0.01 through 0.02 is scheduled, expected, routine maintenance.
Maintenance and service.
And then a muffler falling off for some reason, or bumping into a door or whatever would fall under the 660
Correct.
itself. Okay, just wanted to make sure I understood.
But it doesn't get charged to 660, it gets charged to the vehicle, so you don't really see how it comes out.
Okay,
That's just the way our accounting system, we have to charge it to the vehicle. That way we know how much we've been spending on a certain vehicle. If we don't charge it to the vehicle, then we don't know how to account it towards, other than nothing.
so last,
660 is nothing.
Didn't look like we spent a whole lot in the last couple of years.
It doesn't look like it. But if you look at,
Because that number gets distributed out below, so you have to look at the bottom.
the bottom line, you'll see that it's going down,
yes,
because
Well,
our vehicles are, like I say, are newer, they're under warranty for many, many things, and now this whole fleet basically has been under my control, where I've been making sure that everything that's supposed to be done to them in a timely manner is done to them in a timely manner, so you're not breaking, shackles and frozen springs and, bearings going bad in the middle for no reason at all.
yeah,
So if you look at line .04, 21E2, which is coming up on its 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
We have 4370 scheduled maintenance this year. Line above that .03 is the new E1, which should come online roughly the same time this year. But we don't have money expended for maintenance or anything like that.
It's a little later than we thought it would be. We'll probably do 1 PM on engine 1. When it comes in,
What would you say a little later?
like,
Next year?
Possibly.
Okay. That's a huge, okay.
and it's supposed to be here in August. And, I actually was talking to Larry about it today, saying, what's the deal? He says, well, you wanna get in the car and drive down there, and we'll go look and see what the deal is? But I know what the deal is, it's getting parts and things like that.
So should we have something under E3? Because E3 is gonna run into 2023. Like, I don't know what timeline we're looking at.
I think the number I'm asking for here is sufficient to get us through the year. Because if we have to do something with engine 3 or the engine 1, I can take it out of the other part, the 20,000 part, and we'll just charge it off to that vehicle. And so at the end of next year, you'll see what we spent it on.
I didn't read the packet, so if there's a note in there in the packet, I didn't read it yet. So I was gonna save that.
Oh, from the meeting?
I was gonna save that for tomorrow night's light reading.
Tomorrow night you're gonna be by yourself.
No, my light reading. That's
Oh,
meeting
I thought you
in
meant the
preparation
meeting's
of-
coming tomorrow night.
No, I have another meeting. No, I'm at the polls tomorrow, so I need something to read at the polls. Besides the email that's gonna drop in 50, down in 5 minutes on my boss.
alright, well, does someone want to make a motion to line 660?
Oh,
We haven't made a motion or a second yet.
I make motion line 660, vehicle repairs and others for $20,000.
Just that one?
Just that one.
Okay.
second.
Okay. Alright, any more discussion on the other amount? None heard, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0, that's what I heard. Alright, and you don't think engine 3 is going to have any scheduled track amount?
I don't think so.
So I'll make a motion that we approve line 660.01 through 660.20 for $21,795.
I'll second that.
What's FPT again?
Fire protection trailer.
Thank you. That was way off.
And that's maintenance on the fire prevention trailer.
Right.
That's, you have a different fire prevention accounting where you're putting money away for a future trailer. This is like registration or
Grease the beer.
lights and greasing and stuff, yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments on the service side of the house? None heard, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3-0 again.
I gotta write this all out.
I'm just writing the bottom over there for now. All right. Hey, Paul.
I make a motion to accept line 670, books and periodical for
No.
111.
For the foot, you gotta do both of them, all right? I'll even second it. Do you want to grant it?
No, because the budget committee will spend hours on this.
All right. So is there any comments or discussions on books and periodicals? Okay. That being said, all in favor? Aye. 3-0. All right, there you go. I just didn't want you to miss your opportunity.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. We'll shoot through some of these pretty quickly. Let's keep on going.
Oh wait, that clock is off.
That one is, yes.
Wicked bad.
Oh,
Yeah, it's 6:29.
pretty, 30 minutes. Like last time that I do it, it's okay.
All right. So let's go into the departmental awards.
What is this year's?
December 14th.
December 14th.
I wasn't supposed to
You should, well, the invitations are made up. We didn't send them out yet?
Not yet, we're waiting for envelopes.
Okay.
be. Supply chain issues.
Absolutely, they're supposed to be here Thursday.
Is that an evening thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Cocktail hour starts at 5.
Okay. All right, so departmental awards. Do we have a motion or?
I'll make a motion, line 680, department awards for 3,000.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, discussion on it. What's the 3,000 entail?
Entails the rental of the facility, the food, the awards, the invitations, the postage, all that stuff.
And does this go out to past members as well? You
Past
contact all of
members,
them?
committee members, all that
Okay.
stuff. Anybody that has or has had a role with Tnfd gets an invite. Except former employees, like if they left to go like to Portsmouth, well, you probably don't get an invitation.
Okay. Do you do plaques or anything like that and stuff, and does that come from here, or?
Yes,
Okay.
So you left. Because the chief of the county.
he's coming. He's getting an invite. When he comes in, it's up to him,
You said ask. Because the way you just said it, I'm like, well,
because he's got a plaque. He's getting a plaque.
Do you
Now,
have,
it didn't say what we spent last year.
you didn't have it last year,
Oh, we did, well, that's right, we didn't. I take that.
you got canceled.
The COVID period, it's ugly that again.
Yep. And the year before that?
We didn't have it because of COVID.
Okay, so it was 2020 where you did the potluck and everything for it, I think.
no, we didn't have it. It was 2020, we didn't have it,
The last time
2021.
we had it was in 19.
19,
No, it was at the Pines, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yes.
Then
So
what did we spend 397 on in 2020?
Invitations.
The invitation.
That's right, the invitations did go out, yep. Okay.
And then invitation, not the
And
cancel.
then
And then had the
cancellation.
cancels,
fee.
yes, okay. But yeah, I remember the one we did at the Pines. Okay. And do you, I don't want to get too much into this, but you have like a list of certificates of time for people, or you have a process? And
Yes.
Okay, like I said, I'm not going to go into that because of that.
Captain Ames handles,
Okay.
he keeps track of all of that.
He does all, he handles,
Yes.
tracks all that stuff. Okay. Then we'll leave that alone then, just to have a,
Yeah.
not stepping too deep into it. All right. Any other questions or comments on that one? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Okay. Alrighty. Next one, uniforms. looks like you pretty much matched last time, except you actually cut down on new employees, budgeted amount.
Well, I was gonna jump right out of it, because it says 0, but yet there's 1250 in the line.
Yeah, we have 1250 in the line because we have a new employee starting in January who isn't a transfer from another fire department that doesn't have anything, you know, like.
So should that 0 be changed to a 1?
1?
No, because it says new employee, no, it's in January 2023 budget.
Oh, I see what you
2022.
mean, yeah, 1 at,
Oh,
Yes.
right.
that,
Yeah.
I
At
didn't
the
see
one.
that.
Yeah, that's what,
I'll add the one.
I saw what you were
Well,
doing.
Like what?
Typo.
Last
Other
time,
end of the keyboard.
was a mathematician, but 0 times 1 is 0.
I know.
That's okay, no, I just wanted to clarify.
Alright, well, then I'll make the motion to defer line 685 for the 15.3.
I'll second it.
Alright, let's talk about it. So you expect you will only have 1 new employee this year?
Yes.
I know that's your plan.
That's the plan.
What happens if you have more than 1?
He's gonna pull that diesel.
Yeah, from the diesel. Yeah.
Um,
What's your operational plan
So
if you had to?
usually, like if we get somebody in the middle of the year or something like that, the employee that is leaving usually hasn't spent all of his clothing allowance, only a portion of it, so we take
Okay.
the portion of that that isn't by the employee that's leaving and use that towards a new employee. Or somebody like myself or something, I'm not using much of mine, take it out of mine and
And this is duty uniforms, not turnout gear.
that's correct.
Now, the duty uniforms include, like, forestry pants are still turnout gear.
Yeah.
EMS coats are still turnout gear. Okay, so then cold weather coats, would that fall into this one, or?
So they get their cold weather jackets, sweatshirts, pants, t-shirts, these types of shirts.
From this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Just trying to deal it, so the cold weather jacket does fall into here.
yes.
Okay.
Their duty boots as well.
Duty boots, belt,
Do they get a stipend for that or no?
Yes,
they get an allowance.
it's an allowance.
So they're allowed to spend up to a certain amount if it's needed. If it's not needed, or if they overexpend, it comes out of their pocket.
Well, let's say they are on fire or whatever, they're obviously they don't get hurt, but their boot gets ruined in a fire. That would be,
We would replace that.
I know they're expensive, but I just, whatever, they step on a, they don't really, oh, look at that, it's hot.
Now, if they didn't use it, would they turn it back in? Probably not.
Well,
That's probably a dumb question, but,
It doesn't get expended, it gets turned over to the general
It
fund.
goes back to the general fund.
Well, that's what I mean.
What doesn't get used goes back to the general fund, or we used it with another employee. Say somebody's used their full clothing allowance, but due to a workplace accident or something like that, pants or a shirt get wrecked, we'll replace them. They won't make them take it out of their clothing allowance. Because their clothing allowance allows for like 3 pairs of pants, 3 t-shirts, 2 sweatshirts, and I forget the exact order of things. But they have to do a lot of laundry because of what we require of clean cleanliness and stuff like that. You get exposed in a household,
They gotta change it.
you gotta change, and you gotta have all that stuff ready to go.
So they really just keep that at work and then,
They don't wear uniforms home.
They come to work, change, and then shower and change,
yeah,
Leave it at work.
and leave it there.
and then they wash it if it gets
At work,
contaminated.
yes.
We do have a tendency to go into situations with bed bugs. And
Oh, yeah,
kinds of
no,
other
trust
stuff.
me, I get that part, that's what I'm thinking of, I hope they're not bringing this stuff home.
They're not supposed to.
so it's up about $4,000.
The cost has gone up that much.
In cloth?
Yes,
It's labor to make the uniforms. You're paying everyone more to make stuff. cloth may be the same, because the sheep are still growing the wool, but to get the sheep sheared and then turn that into
Yeah.
usable.
We actually try to use cotton.
Well, I'd rather than cotton.
Well, there's NFPA approved materials for work uniforms.
Who's the one I got wool?
Wool's not one of them.
No.
In your support company uniforms, that's your Cert P, which you currently don't have. They're not Cert P, the Cert.
Cert.
We don't have
We don't have
certs.
cert.
We don't
We-
have
We call
certs.
them the red company,
Okay, you use Red Company versus Civilian Emergency
emergency
Response.
response team.
Okay. And you don't have anyone on that currently, it looks like?
We have two.
The Watsons.
Mhm. They haven't requested anything yet.
Okay, that's
That's a
what.
phone call I need to make
Okay,
to remind them.
We just show up every fire and help out.
Yeah.
kind of like rehab and water pass
Water
out and things like that, maybe run
Power
food.
bars.
Mhm.
Okay.
They just keep a supply of that in case.
They do.
And they have like a go-tote at home, they grab that.
They do.
They
Oh, I
actually
just,
What are other thoughts on uniforms?
it's a guess.
It is.
Like, we don't have 14 people right now, do
Yeah.
Call company, we're up to 14? I thought we were at
Yes.
nine.
we?
Yeah.
All right, good job.
Good job. Nice.
Yeah.
Last I thought we were 9.
We have no applications in process right now, but we're up to 14.
Hey,
It's going the right way.
yep. Alright. No other comments? So let's call the vote on it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I heard 3.
Grumpy eye.
Next one's for Paul.
690, miscellaneous.
I'll second it.
Looks like there's nothing in there.
It's a placeholder.
It's $1 for placeholder.
Yeah.
This is if COVID.
Well,
PD.
It's for almost anything that there's no,
Doesn't fit anywhere
doesn't
else.
fit anywhere else.
It's $60.
It's just for accounting. We need the line item open to put stuff there because we can't put it anywhere else. So we need the line item open for $1, just so we can
Mhm.
put stuff there.
And in the past, 2020, we put 2,500 into it. Last couple of years, it's been a lot less. So, okay.
The 2,500 was
COVID.
COVID.
alone.
COVID.
Okay. Alright. No other discussion heard? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. No, not opposed. I just,
So, well, I knew you were gonna go for one.
I know,
so
that must be the one. All right.
So it is in favor?
Yeah, I'm in favor.
Okay, so 3-0.
That was me.
I know,
So,
but just giving you an opportunity. All right.
My escape clause. All right.
Oh, that's number is just what we've done above, right?
Well, which
The
number?
maintenance.
4220.
That is, the only thing left in that is the 775 dry hydrants and cisterns.
That's maintenance on them.
That's maintenance on them, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve line 775, dry hydrants and cisterns, 2,500.
Oh, okay, thank
Can
you.
we actually spend 800?
Is there maintenance
That's
on
the
it?
diver, that's the diver guy?
The diver, if we need to have a machine to do any dredging, broken strainers, broken fire department connection things. Sometimes the plows hit a bollard.
Rather hit the baller than the triad.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Who
right.
seconded that?
I'm not sure. Who made the motion on?
I made a
Eric
motion.
made the motion, nobody seconded
I'll
it.
second it then. There you go.
John
Thank
did.
you.
Yep. All right. And this is servicing of all this.
Service and repair
Okay, service and repair. Okay.
of existing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other discussion on it?
Yeah, I'd like to
Go
see it,
for it.
I'd like to see it down to 2,000.
Okay.
I mean, last year was 800. I know the year before that was a little more, but
Okay. Where this is servicing only, it's not for all our new ones, that would be different lines and all that. Okay.
That's a, from the warrant article.
Oh, okay.
It was a warrant article to set up an expendable trust fund.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Down to 2,000? Okay. Because of how much was actually used in the past?
yeah.
Because the dry hydrants are what the department owns, where it's not part of the other issue in any way, shape, or form.
That's correct, dry hydrants and systems.
Will the ones that are proposed this year be operational next year?
So, one will, the silver lane, that's scheduled to go in, I thought it was gonna go in a week ago, but, Steve Partridge, they got another job, and so they're doing that other job first.
Okay.
The dry hydrant on, Sanborn Road, after discussion with Steve and the landowner and everything, that's gonna have to be done in the spring because they wanna drain the pond, and there's a lack of materials. We only have so much material in stock, and we need more material than what we have in stock to put that dry hydrant in. And the stock,
Pipe, you mean, and
the
stuff
pipes,
like, okay.
yeah, and that's not gonna be available until next spring. The other project that we're doing is a cistern at 33 Vista Heights, and we're working on that, and we hope to have that, a winter project, is when Steve wants to do that.
You're gonna dig in the ground in the winter?
That's what he said.
Okay.
Where we're going, the ground's not gonna freeze all of us.
I know, but it's just, it raises the question,
They
that's
have a-
usually when you try,
they-
I know you can,
They have a
but,
big excavator, it doesn't seem to, frost in the ground doesn't seem to bother it.
okay.
The rate we're going, the ground's not even close to being frozen.
I don't know, it's not.
Yeah, I was golfing in shorts yesterday.
So,
Also, it's close this year.
all the new stuff you're putting in would not have any service work in 2023?
No.
Okay, so you increased the budget, or you went up that little bit of the 2,500 based on our existing.
Yes.
I know you're just trying to get some money back into the
I'm
budget
just,
for other things,
I'm
yeah?
just,
No, I
you know,
understand.
500 here, 500 there.
Yeah.
Because you know, the budget committee's gonna, they're gonna,
Mhm.
I don't run on
What's your thoughts?
I can do 2,000.
I could too,
I'll have to amend your,
or rescind it, whichever way you
I'll
want to do it.
rescind my.
I'll rescind my second.
I'll rescind my motion.
Yeah. Well, I can-
I'll make a motion that we approve line 775 for $2,000.
Okay, I'll second it for $2,000. Any other discussion on it? All right, all in favor?
aye.
Aye. 3-0, all right.
Pressurized items. Just kidding. John was stabbing with the pen.
No. I just go with the flow on that one. Come quarter might have a different outlook on it, but all the others are placeholders.
Do I have to approve those?
Yes.
it. Yes.
All right, you ready?
Go for it.
I'm gonna steal this from Paul.
You go right ahead.
I make a motion that we approve line 4901, land, 4902, capital out, machinery, vehicles, equipment, 4903, capital out, building, and 4909, other, all for $1 each, which is line 4900, total capital outlay for $4.
I'll second it.
Pretty-
I'd like to lower that to 50 cents, please.
Any discussion? All in favor? 3-0.
Oh,
Aye.
4723. It's got $1 in there, but it shouldn't be. You guys didn't vote on that one.
I know, I noticed that.
Okay, well, we can go back up to that one after. That's no problem.
Yeah, I don't want,
Okay, so 4723 is up for grabs.
That was a quality honors if you want to.
Okay, 4723, tenor interest for $1.
I'll second it.
All right, and what is TAN interest? Just,
a tax anticipation note,
okay. Okay,
and that's just a placeholder.
yep,
Hopefully we don't need those.
Hopefully we don't.
okay.
But now, this is a serious question, because we know obviously the district is delaying the ability for the towns to set tax rate. The school district is delaying the town's abilities to set tax rates. Is that gonna influence our cash flow?
Could.
It could, yes.
The towns may not be able to pay us because they didn't send out the tax bills, and so then we would have to rely on our unreserved fund balance to make it until then, or we'd have to do,
Well, I know the interest rate on TAN just went,
Right through the roof.
it's like mortgages.
well, I mean, not, I don't know what our tax rate is now on TAN, but I know for the town, it's fivefold. When you say fivefold, 1 to 5, so.
All right.
But that makes when you start borrowing, it adds up awfully quick. And we haven't had to borrow before, so.
Hopefully we can avoid that, yeah.
No, that's okay, I just putting it out there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, it's been several years since we've had to borrow.
Look at that way.
It's before I came. We haven't had to borrow since I've been.
No, I just don't, you know, everything's gonna play into it.
Yeah. Any thoughts on it?
No, I don't wanna add it to the budget, I'm just nervous that something happens and we have to borrow. Because that money only, okay, you cannot run off that, but it only lasts for so long.
Right.
Yeah, well, ideally, we should be able to make it through 2 months, but I think we
Right.
dipped into that, so it's not quite, and we're not there.
We're okay right now.
Okay. Do you get just really warm in here?
No.
No.
You having hot flashes?
I must be. I'm sick of taking off flashes.
Anything else on the 4723? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. All right. So what's 4910, transfer to the trust?
Okay, that you don't have to do anything with.
Okay,
That is only after the warrant articles.
Gotcha.
okay. That's, I was trying to understand what it was.
Right.
All right. And then the rest of that page is,
Warrant articles. the middle
Warrant
section.
articles.
okay,
and-
warrant articles, yep, there, okay.
So,
Revenues we're gonna deal with. Apparatus and equipment replacement fund budget. 11, that's where I'm with
I
it.
jumped ahead, so.
Okay, I don't think, there's nothing we do on that one.
Nothing on the.
no,
Okay.
it's page 12,
12 is the next one.
yes.
12, 13.
14 is nothing as well, so it's just 12 and 13.
Well, we got theoretically another 40 minutes. We might be able to knock this out. And then we only have one thing left based on salaries and the impacts of the salaries on the other stuff for that last meeting, if we can make that happen, which is next week. I know you want it like last week.
I need it. It's not that I want it, it's that I need it
I know.
to fulfill the guidelines that are required.
I'm just nervous about stepping into it and only getting it part way, because I think that one's gonna have some communication back and forth on the salaries. I don't think that's a very easy.
Well, if you step into it and you decide you want something different, I can't whip those numbers out that night.
Which way do the commissioners wanna go on that? Salaries or? Salaries, we're back at.
4 or 5.
Page 5.
Okay.
Really?
I guess you're going for 5?
All right, let's go for it. Let's go for it, because according to that clock, it's 6:20.
Yeah, no, it's 6:53 and,
But I keep looking up at it.
I know, well, we're gonna stop at 7:30 so I can get over late to the, planning board. Is my preference, I would say. He's gonna fix it right now on you.
It's not gonna be any good, chief.
No?
No.
No, you know those batteries you have in your budget, we gotta stick one of those in there.
Oh, okay.
You can charge it back to town hall.
Alright, how do we wanna break down? Overall, the overtime, the holiday pay, the overtime, the call salary and wages is a percentage of the career salary and wages, right?
No.
No.
No. Okay, I was wrong on that, okay.
So, we start from the bottom, work our way up. The call salaries and wages are devised through a formula based on hours worked, hours possible to work. And I also increased the base pay of the call firefighters.
Okay,
What is the base pay?
yeah. We're gonna get questions on that, I think, for a few of them.
It's,
1250 or something?
no, it's
No.
14? I raised it from 13 to 14.
All right, let me look.
Yeah.
I missed it maybe somewhere along the line. I knew it used to be like 10 at one point, a few years ago, but.
And then I am gonna have a question for you next on the hours possible formula, while she gets that number.
Where's the,
Dave will bring my computer.
You got a computer, it's right there,
Okay.
that size thing ran the Apollo 13.
This thing's about to blow up.
Oh, we'll make
Probation,
it.
okay, probationary was $13 in 2022, and the chief increased it to 14
For
for
probation.
2020 for probation, and then firefighter level 1 or EMT. Oops, where'd that go? Sorry. Was $16 in '22, and he increased it to $17 in '23.
Okay.
and everything else.
And everything else just falls in line.
Falls in line.
But that's call company only.
That's
Yes.
call company only.
Okay. Now, what is your formula for the hours possible? How do you base that?
So I don't have with me my narrative, the budget narrative.
You hack into his files.
I have access.
Just trying to understand the formula equation.
So it's the, like, the possible number of calls that they averagely go on, the number of training hours, things like that, when it all adds up.
So your pre-programmed training
Yes.
expectation. The calls is a average or a
An
three-year average?
An
Or
average of what is customary that they've been going on, plus I add to it because I don't want to fall short in it. But this year, we haven't been getting as much participation, even though our numbers are up, both in personnel and calls. I have somewhat less participation.
There's more
So,
opportunities, but they're not responding.
So, trainings, meetings, and special events are based on in-house training hours, off-site training hours. In-house is 781, other training sites is 325, officers' meetings is 48 hours, is what's based on.
Per
As-
person?
Yes, per officer.
Yes.
Oh, officer, sorry.
As well as what they respond to for calls. And that estimate is roughly 500 hours for fire calls, 1,400 hours for EMS. So it's like 1,440 hours for fire, 1,500 hours for EMS, and 60 hours for other.
Others, like, they do fire prevention duty, or they're doing a touch a truck at the outlet mall or something like that.
And then each call firefighter with 15 or more hours per month receives an extra $1 per hour in pay for that month, like a little incentive.
It's a bonus.
So if they do 15 calls, they get 15 extra dollars?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's what that goes up to, okay. As an incentive to try and get them in for more calls.
Right.
Yes,
But at $1 per call.
$1 per hour.
It's
Oh,
$1 an
$1 per
hour.
So if they go on 15 calls,
Yeah. Okay.
it is $15 if they only go for an hour. It's
Okay.
additional $15, but if each call lasts 2 hours, then they're gonna get $30 more.
But so, let's just say they respond to 15 calls, but the total of those calls is 45 hours, they get
Hour minimum. So total of those calls is what?
45 hours.
They'd get extra $45.
Yes.
Now,
For
if
the
I,
entire, everything they did for the month,
But
I'm
for the
sorry.
month,
For the
yes.
month.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, it hit me real fast.
so, because you said an hour, but if I get called into work, if I was hourly, I would have to be paid a minimum of 2 hours. Does that work in the fire?
So in our personnel policy manual, which dictates how we pay people, we have an hourly rate for call.
1 hour callback minimum.
It's a minimum of an hour.
Okay.
It's in writing and
If
approved and all that.
If you want to change that, that's up to the commissioners. If they
Well, I
want to
didn't know
change
if
it
it
to a
was-
2 hour
I just didn't know if
minimum
it
or
was
whatever,
legal
we
or-
can do that. That's also incentive to help people come in, but then I'm going to require them to stay that 2 hours. Whereas now the 1 hour, if it's just like a quick EMS thing, pick
EMS
the
sign off
interrupt
of
off the
20
floor,
Yeah.
we go in service, okay, you can leave.
1 hour.
You don't have to stay and,
Hang out.
For the other 40 minutes, right?
yep.
But if they have to pick the man off the floor, put her on a gurney, and drive her down to Concord,
An hour and a half.
and it takes an hour and a half, 2 hours to do that run, they get the 2 hours.
They get paid for the full amount of time. that they
Yeah,
do.
no, that's, I mean, I didn't think you didn't pay them, but.
And based on that equation of your $1 increase for probationary and essentially $1 increase for each level is what you
Yes.
did. That's how you went from 110 to, it came out to like 10,000
Yes.
based on your hours
Our
formula?
that would be our liability, whether that actually happens or not.
Right, that's your expected up to.
Right.
Right, so there are years where we overexpended on that line, but the last couple of years we've underexpended,
Considerably.
Yeah,
especially when COVID hit. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like
we
it's
didn't
quite
want
a bit
anybody
worse
to come
because-
in and,
Yeah, but actually in COVID, we were up to $88,000. In the year of COVID, we were the highest we've been in the last 3 years.
Right. And now you do have more members on the call force.
yep.
So that is an equation increase. I'm a little, that 120 is hitting me hard, just my thoughts on it. Not that we've got a motion or a second or anything on it, we're kind of beating it up the hard way. When do you pay out the call force? Is it, and, because
Monthly,
Monthly,
all right, because last year we budgeted 110, and so far till October 31st, I think this is, you've only paid 40 and
actually,
change.
this is through the end of September.
Oh, okay, there's another month, okay.
Because the month, their pay period ends the last day of the month, and then
Okay.
their
okay,
paycheck is cut the next month.
Okay.
We have to
So
pay them by
October will
the
be-
8th of the
yeah.
month, it's always held over.
Yeah. So theoretically, you're probably at worst up to about 50,000.
50, 55.
Oh, let me, I don't have it open.
That's the worst.
At
That's
the-
through
at the-
that's
at
through
the
9
rate-
months, right?
At the rate that they're responding, if they don't change, it'd probably be around 55.
But
Well, it's good the call force is coming in because the
If you give me a moment, I can tell you how much we've expended this year. Through October.
What do you do?
Well, I'm just
No, okay.
among the proverbial fence.
That's my soccer time.
Waiting.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I fully support having a very robust call force because it does save on significant funds on other things. I just don't even foresee on the trend we're on right now hitting the 88, and I know you have a multiplier increase, so I'm recognizing that in there. I'm not sure the multiplier increase of that high is where,
So far this year on call salaries, we've expended $42,673.25.
42. So
42 what?
Say 42,673.25.
Okay.
That's through the end of
October.
October.
I'd like to see that, if there's any way possible, down to 100,000. God, it still leaves a fair amount of money, I think. I mean, I think they deserve what they get, but, I mean, I just,
Don't want so much money on the table that
yeah.
the public is very frustrated. I don't want to shortchange it
If you
either.
go, because it's almost, well, in 21 you spent 63, now you're going down, but you've increased it by 20, or 10.
I mean, there is a wage increase in there, and that's something that we can speak to, that there is an expected increase based on,
Is there increase been in effect already?
No.
So it's effective January 1?
Yes.
yeah. I was thinking the same way as Paul. I was trying to, in my mind, look at the 110, and it's just very hard for me. Where, I mean, how far back are your historics?
Well,
Readily accessible? You go beyond 2020, or?
I can.
I was just
Don't know how
curious.
fast it's gonna go.
Yeah,
I just didn't know if if 80, because you think about it, 2020 was the COVID year. That's where our medical responses jumped ginormously.
how far back would you like me to go?
Just trying to see if you had seen anything that broke 100
Even 90.
or even 90 in like the last only in the last 5 years, no more than that.
We're really going back 2 more years.
Yeah. But yeah, 2020 is just, that's one of our highest
Yeah.
medical.
But they had the, I mean, I don't know if it was the highest calls, but the medical calls were frequent because they had the episode.
Yeah, that year, it was a lot, but we didn't have any training that year either. We kind of shut.
Yeah,
training
you
down.
shut training off, yes. There is that factor.
But you also had call guy. Now, if a call guy comes in, can you use a call guy to fill in for a firefighter,
A career firefighter?
career firefighter?
No, we don't.
Not on shift.
So, let's just say, well, I was just thinking, okay, maybe.
We can, if, say like we're having a snowstorm or something like
Yeah.
that, and I need to up staff.
Yeah.
I want to staff the second ambulance or whatever. I bring in call company to do that.
Right.
And if I can't get call company, then I'll go to career staff after that. I'll force somebody to work. But it always goes to the call company guys first.
But they can't perform an actual duty shift
Yeah.
in
It's only
replace
the
of a
time
career.
of the extreme need of like coverage.
Yeah,
Weather event or
during a
extra
declared
staffing.
emergency, I can do almost anything I want
Yeah.
to make things work.
the governor calls a state of emergency, you can, I
Was
think
it
we were in that
scenarios
for
and
the
things
year
like that?
2020, we were in a state of emergency.
We were in a state of emergency.
Yeah,
But, you know, if you got a blizzard coming, an ice storm, and, you know, you can bring in the,
Extra staffing and stuff. It's
Which-
just
which
where
I've
you
done.
put them to sleep is the problem right now.
oh, yeah, no, like,
so like, when we, for example, when we do get it, we know we're gonna have a big blizzard overnight, something like that, I bring an extra guy for the plow truck to make sure that sometimes we have to plow our way to the emergency.
Yeah.
And then we gotta plow the driveway and shovel the walkway so we can get the patient out of the house and into the ambulance. And
Sorry about this.
It
It's
gets-
just
In 2020, that was the
the highest.
highest, going back to 2013.
Okay, so. Now, so there should, worst case, there should be a multiplier on that as a, and I think that multiplier on there, I'm not opposed to what Paul suggested, 100,000. I think that still would leave a considerable potential buffer.
Even you went back 2021, you're only talking 60 or 63 there, so you still got almost $40,000.
Yes, I think that.
Yeah,
I know we're doing it backwards, we'll fix that
I don't
part.
care,
We'll fix that part if.
backwards is fine, as long as we do something.
What is your thoughts for the call side of things, so 100,000?
yeah, I can probably.
All right, I'll make a motion for line 120, call salaries and wages for the amount of 100,000.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. 3-0, all right. We got there somehow,
That
but we got
that
there.
took care of the diesel increase.
All right.
Savings. For the insurance.
It's just,
Something around $20,000.
all right. All right, so, overtime, holiday, overtime. Holiday is a fixed number, isn't it? It's-
Correct.
But that's gonna be based on what we come up with for a wage increase.
Correct.
yeah.
So
So
you really
so
can't
really
do,
gotta tackle 110 before you can
110.
before
tackle.
you can do,
Next.
because that's gonna impact those just based on
Yes.
the hours associated.
Correct, correct.
At least those two will go quick once we do. All right, I'll make a motion for 110 salaries and wages of $1,203,542 for discussion.
Second up for discussion. And then Paul was.
Paul, all right. Let's see what kind of stuff you got.
So, based on a number of studies that I've done to try and keep us in the middle of the pay scales, and the first thing I did was I called Laconia. What are they paying starting right now? So starting right now in Laconia, they're paying $22.72 an hour, plus a $3,000 sign-on bonus for advanced EMTs or EMTs, and a $4,000 bonus for paramedics. I said, well, who else is close in this area that's a lot smaller? Sanberton. Sanberton's hiring right now, and they're paying $21.14 an hour to start. That's kind of where I started at. Then I started, who else is hiring? Bowes at $20.53. Bristol is $20.91. Gilmington's $21. Sanberton, I already told you. Hollis, $21.87. Goffstown, $22 an hour. Londonderry's $22.93. Concord is $24.52. Bedford is $24.88, and Wyndham is $24.90. Now, these are all departments that are hiring today. And then I looked at Franklin, $17.54 an hour.
Now, we're
That's
higher-
telling.
We are higher than Franklin.
Oh, yes.
For starting,
Yeah.
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 What's our
Um,
starting rate?
Currently, our starting rate is $19.60 an hour.
1960.
The proposed starting rate, my proposed starting rate is $21.55 an hour. When you look at the current people who are hiring, the average starting pay is $22.08, and the median, which is the middle, is $21.22. went to the Bureau of Labor to find out where the average starting wage is for firefighters in the whole state. Because they don't break it down into, every town, but they take the average of the whole state. The whole statewide average for starting pay is $25.13 an hour. So everybody's like in the $21 range or so, except for Franklin. Franklin has, in the past few months, 7 openings. They have hired people, they've stayed for 2 or 3 weeks and gotten a position somewhere else and left, because there's so many other positions open right now. Belmont just got a SAFER grant for 6 people. I don't think the selectmen have approved it yet, so they haven't advertised.
Wait, was that at 2 per shift over there? or-
So that'll bring 4 people per shift, similar to what we are, plus an additional person during the day.
Day, duty day.
Every 7 days.
How many say for grants positions did you say?
6
For how long?
for 3 years. Because they're all, Belmont currently is at 3 people, 24 hours a day currently.
Yes.
So it's added 1 person per shift.
So they
Yeah.
added 1 person per shift,
And
plus an
a
additional
duty
person
day.
during the
Yeah,
day.
during the day,
So that's actually, that'd be more than what we have on duty.
Didn't Laconia get a SAFER grant too?
They have not gotten a SAFER grant, that have not been approved as a SAFER
Okay,
grant.
but they put in for it.
They have put in for it, but in addition to that, they have increased their staffing starting January 1st to 4 additional people, so
Yeah.
1 per
Okay.
shift. So they're going from 9 to 10 people per
Okay,
shift.
that's how many.
And they're advertising for that right now.
So they have 2 in the weirs and then 8 at the main station?
No, they have 3 in the
3 in the
weirs.
weirs.
Oh, okay, for a full.
And 6.
full truck.
And I believe this new person, the idea is that that person would be a paramedic in a fly car. Let's try it out.
So,
It works in other places. They're gonna try it out. So, what I'm trying to shoot for, the reason I came up with 2155 is because the cost of living index,
here we go, that's where my question's going.
that's where I get that number.
What's that percentage?
It's, when I do my reports, I start all this, as you know, in July and August, but I use the August year-over-year number to come up with my
Okay.
thing, because if I was doing it now, none of these numbers would be available.
Okay,
That'd be-
so what's your cost of living index, percentage index?
It's 9.1%,
That's the number I was gonna ask you.
which I believe I've already told the budget committee that number. I believe it's a number that we need to do to keep us in the middle. It keeps us competitive so that we're not gonna lose firefighters, even though if somebody leaves to go to the city, I really can't change that. But somebody's not gonna leave us to go to, Guilford, or they're certainly not gonna leave us to go to Franklin. They're not gonna leave us to go to Laconia. Because there's 2 other things to that. We have a good culture here, and that's what helps us. We have good support from the commissioners in training, and our benefits are comparable to everybody else. If we fall behind in the salary lines, that's when we have the possibility of losing people, especially our SAFER employees, which are not guaranteed a job.
Well, the SAFERs, in reality, those firefighters are gonna jump at wherever is a full-time career opportunity. And I don't blame them in the least, because the SAFER is to get them into the door for that 3-year opportunity to get into a full-time, I'm not on a 3-year try.
Precipice.
Right, try and do it. So theoretically, any of our guys on SAFER, I'd hate to lose them, but they're gonna look at wherever Laconia's offering 4 full-time positions, that's not safer saying 3 years from now, you're up in the air. I would expect some of them are probably going to be putting in for that job security at year 4 type of thing.
So we're almost there. We're coming up on 2 years into SAFER, and we only have an additional year to go. If they're gonna make the jump, they're probably making the jump soon, unless they could feel a message from the commissioners saying that, you know, that you would support keeping them beyond this, even though it's gonna be on the tax rate beyond this. Given that, our call volume has gone up quite a bit since we've hired the SAFER people. There is no way that we could go back to having 3 guys on duty and still handle the call volume that we have currently. It's quite a large percentage-wise increase than what we did even last year.
Yeah,
It's like a 20% increase in call volume over last year.
Now, if I remember, last year we gave them a significant amount of money raised to get in line with some of the other places.
Just to bring us to median
Yeah,
right.
in the
and
previous year.
now it's jumped up another, what, $3?
No, we're
We're at 19,
it's about $1. It's not quite $1 raise. It's like a 95-cent an hour raise.
This year,
Oh,
but
2.95.
he's saying what we
Yeah,
went last year
2.95.
to get to the median.
Yeah,
We went like,
Yeah, it's $2.95.
so it's an
$1.95 raise.
$1.95, yeah.
okay.
Which I had the percentage really lost.
From where we were last year.
Last year.
So we already went up part of that, and then the dollar already, and now we're 2 years in a row. We're talking going almost another whole dollar. I mean, yeah, it's 95 cents. It's pretty much a dollar each year increase on the baseline, which then multiplies right up through everything. And your overall, so theoretically, your budget right here, the 1.2 is based on I don't even know how to break that down if they would go up a lesser amount.
Now, does that step up go across, like,
Yes, so every salary in the fire department is based on the starting hourly wage.
Right.
And as different people get different steps, it can confuse it. So I always just stick with the starting base salary and go off of that because it's non-confusing.
but so if, how do I want to say this? If John's,
So if I get a new certification, I move into a different line and.
no, I'm just saying, straight line. Okay, we approve this, this increase gets approved, $1.95.
No, it's only another 95 cents from last year.
No, it's
No, it's
$1.95.
Oh, it's
$1.95,
$1.95 this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's $1.95 from, so it's from 1960 to 2155. So it's
Okay.
$1.95. But, and I don't, so 19.6 times 9, well, 10%. Right? Roughly, it's like 9 point something percent.
Should be 9.1.
It's not 9.1.
So that's what I was trying to figure out what it is.
9.1% is $1.78. What the Google machine says.
I'll take it.
So if you're looking at line 110,
Well, no, my question is, okay, a firefighter further up the line, a career firefighter further up the line, are they getting a $1.78 increase, or are they getting a 9.1% increase?
So for example, let me see if I can find, so if somebody,
Is that
not using any names or anything like that.
Yeah, please
Regular
don't.
firefighter. Oh, I don't have last year's.
But does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Mhm. You're trying to see if it's a flat increase of
John,
the
John-
178 or a
It's a
multiplier.
it's a percentage increase.
It's not, yeah, it's not
It's
a
a
flat
percentage
increase.
increase,
So John
based on.
Silly,
the starting salary.
firefighter
Mhm.
for the town of Tilton Northfield. He's making, I'm just gonna use math, $25 an hour. So he's not getting $1.97, he's gonna go up times 9.1%, which is $2.28. So now he's really gonna be making $27.28 an hour.
What did you say for starting pay
25, I was just saying he's making $25 an hour.
right now?
Yeah,
Oh, 25?
I'm just using that
Oh, okay,
number.
yeah.
I don't
We'll
know.
find,
And I don't know if we have someone making
All
that.
right, so go with labor grade 4, step 10. That's 2507, and then that increase would tell you what,
Okay.
25.07,
last year.
right.
Yep.
But now, this
Times the-
percentage increase is 9.1%.
Right.
Times 9.1% equals $2.28
Instead of the 195.
instead of the 195. So it goes up, so
Mhm.
okay. It's not a 195 increase across the board, it's a 9 it's a
195 on the
percentage
starting
increase
pay.
across the board.
Right, it's a percentage across the
Okay.
board for,
Right.
as,
Yep, no,
Yes.
that's just,
Right.
yep. So this year, we're looking at $1.95. Last year, to get them to the 1960, how much did we do of an increase then?
I think it was $2 and something.
Hold on,
Huh?
hold on.
so, did we do a COLA last year or
It-
merit?
It's just the COLA.
it's just a COLA.
Yeah,
We didn't
You
do
did a COLA
merit
last
or any
year.
step raises. And that's all this is a COLA.
It's not a s-
no merit, no step
just a COLA.
increases. The difference between, in the salary line item, between, with the 9.2 or 1% or whatever it is $12,000 from last year to this year. 12,000. $12,485 is the increase in the line, that line.
Okay, I see where you're coming up with that, okay. So you're saying the 1.2 minus the 1.1 and
Yeah.
change, the difference there, you're saying is 12,000?
Yep.
Okay, but that is base salaries and salaries and wages, that multiplier also is now going to impact,
The overtime and holiday pay.
so 4 and change for holiday, and nearly 40,000 in overtime.
And I have the,
No, I'm sorry, 35, nearly 35,000 in
Yes.
overtime.
yep.
And that's,
So
yeah, it's
overtime is
12,000.
a different formula of how we get there. And I have that, whole separate spreadsheet for that. But it is based on the overtime rate.
Right. I mean, overall, we're adding 62,000. With that increase, would be adding about 62,000. Oh, 62,000 minus the 20 that we. So that brings it to 16,459.3 because of what we've already adjusted. So you're adding $42,000 roughly with this increase.
To what, the overtime?
to everything,
everything.
to the wage, salaries, wages, holiday, and overtime, is roughly 42, it's 42 and change, 42.3 is the best way, rough math, 42,300 is with this increase. And this is my midnight math I'm looking at it with, so
I'm gonna give
people with
you the
calculators.
exact number.
Absolutely, I'm just doing midnight math here, so you got better math.
I have 52,000.
Okay.
That's just the increases.
Oh, yes, okay, I see why. You're,
I'm not taking the 20,000 out, I'm just saying.
But- because there was 110 last year and we had 120, we went down, so
Right.
that's what's showing my math off, okay.
I mean, if you take the 20,000 we cut, we're reducing the payroll then by 32,000. Well, it's still an increase, but it's,
Right, because of that 10,000.
my math came up to 52,325.
350, 315,
I got 325.
So 52, 315?
16 and 9.
I have fat
Yeah,
fingers.
yeah, 325.
I got fat fingers, so.
No, you're right.
Because of that 110 that was there and we went to 100 here.
Yeah. I wasn't even counting that line, just right now, the raw increase is 52,325.
No, it's 42,324.
No,
No?
no. The increase from 1,203,542,
Oh, wait a minute, I missed, yeah, that's right, because I missed a,
that's $12,485.
you're right.
The payroll, that still doesn't make sense. But if you're increasing wages by 9 point,
That's about, yeah, okay, my math was off on that number. The 52 sounds right.
It is right.
It is right.
The 52.3,
Yes,
yeah, okay, that's kind of what I had, I just didn't do my math over here on this side right. So it's $52,325 increase in salaries and wages. And essentially, they got a, what was the cost of living, I'm sorry, the COLA last year for that $2? What was the percentage?
oh, it was
10,
9,
That was 9 something.
9 something.
9 something.
And this is another 9.1 and 9.2.
Man, they're gonna object.
Yes. Yeah, that's,
But we have, I see the side of it, we have to stay competitive. I mean, it
Yeah,
sucks.
last year was 9.2,
9.2 and this year was 9.2.
It sucks because we have to,
this year's 9.1.
We're trying to stay competitive
we're trying to
in
stay
the middle.
competitive because otherwise, okay, now you're gonna have your OT through the roof because you gotta bring in guys to cover shifts. If you're short guys, you gotta bring in OT guys.
So, to transfer it to overtime, this is my sheet that figures out how we do overtime and how much it's gonna cost. You take all the vacation time that's available, that comes up with a certain number of hours. Sick and personal days, your floating holiday, which can be either pay or time off. Then there's the average, the overtime from required training. So if you're like a swift water tech, we make sure you get those hours
Maintain it.
to maintain it, because, you know, those technical rescue things are perishable skills that you need to do. And then there's the sick time average over the
Okay.
last 3 years.
And that's the
There's
the
a difference
variable.
between what your liability is and what the average is. So our sick time liability for next year is going to be 4,608 hours. But if you use what the average over the last 3 years is, what I figure into what I'm going to require for overtime is 1,470 hours. We don't use what our liability.
That's your cap you're looking at. The 4608 is the expected cap.
That, if everybody took every amount of sick time available to them, that would be it.
Okay.
We're on the hook for 4608.
We're on the hook for 4608.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not asking for that. I'm asking for 1,470
Hours,
hours,
1,400.
given the use over the past 3 years.
Right, based on your historicals.
Yes.
So
And
you're
it's,
about a
and it's,
third.
and it's actually from 2019 through 2021 because we don't have 2022 yet.
Yeah. Logical.
So so all the I expect that all the vacation time to be used, and that's 2,208 hours. The floating holiday, I expect it to be all used as overtime at 192. The amount of required training is 2,332 hours, and then the average of the 3-year sick time is 1,470 hours.
Right. Mhm.
There's also, I have proposed in here to send another person to paramedic school, which would require 108 hours of coverage. That bringing the total to required overtime hours at 6,310. That brings us
Say that again.
6,310 hours of overtime coverage.
As a cap,
As
your
a cap.
high-end cap, so you went
Yes.
from the 4,608 up to 6,300, okay.
Right, our liability, our overtime liability using the same thing is 9,340. Looking at where we are in the year and where we are with the current overtime expenditures, we're pretty much right on target. Same with, we're actually a little bit over in overtime and a little bit under in salaries, so, but it balances out. I know it's a lot, but it takes me a while to come up with this.
Chief, look back to your wages, no, it had all the towns listed. Yeah, gotta steal a picture of that, that's why I don't see far on your book.
Let's see, so if I take
This way I can just look at it this way.
BLS, Bureau of Labors and Standards or something like that. That's from the CPI. The only other municipality offering a bonus is Keene right now. Sign-on bonus.
What's Franklin gonna
They're in effect because they also have another captain leaving and another firefighter experienced.
I'm trying to
firefighter.
figure out the percentage of the overall fire budget of the 1.8, how much of that is actual, this line summary.
Oh,
So the 16,45943, how much of the overall 1.8 percentage of the budget is? And I know your soft cost is the biggest part of any budget is your personnel. Like your fixed facilities is a small cost. Our moving resource is another cost. But the biggest kill to any budget
Personnel.
is personnel. That's why the school is so painful, is personnel. With here, it's a personnel, and it's a resource to get there, and it's an expensive resource of 100,000, but that's over 20 years. Whereas the 4 people staffing it every year, and benefits, and this, but $2 2 years in a row, Aaron put it. It's trying to sell it to the public, and that's looking out for the taxpayers and all that.
And all that I'm trying to do with this budget is just to keep us where we should be to be competitive. It keeps the buying power of our employees the same as what it was last year. it doesn't give them any more buying power, then, then we're not giving them a step raise, or I'm not proposing a step raise, I'm not proposing merit raises. I know last year we talked about perhaps adding incentive raises for college degrees or certifications beyond what is required. I'm not proposing that right now. Right now, I'm just trying to tread water. I'm not trying to gain, I'm not trying to lose.
Well, the first response was, hey, I didn't get an
That's-
18% raise over the last 2 years.
And that's about what I was going to say, is that unfortunately a lot of the taxpayers in this 2 towns that make up the district aren't seeing that. I mean, it's unfortunate that the government is just, we're in a bad place with our government right now. And unfortunately, people are
Well,
trying to decide whether they buy gas or food, literally.
I think there's an argument to be said for that. The cost of living for everything has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
People around us in our communities are working, and I believe they've gotten raises as well. Maybe not to the same extent, but look at the service that we're trying to provide. Look at what we require of our employees, and the responsibilities that we put them in is extremely high. Sure, you can go to the warehouse, the Walmart warehouse in Raymond, and start at $27 or $28 an hour, plus all the benefits that we provide here. The reason you can kind of get away with paying firefighters a little bit less than, a factory worker or something like that, or a construction worker, is it's kind of a calling. It's
It's a calling. Also, a lot of them have second jobs, even though they may not here in Tilton Northfield. Quite a few of them have second jobs, and a lot of them do rely on the overtime.
Yeah.
But it is a shift work where you can literally hold 2 full-time jobs or a full-time job and a second career and make it all happen.
You could. There were.
And many
I'm
do.
very much aware of that. I know when I was in Tewksbury, many of the guys did that.
Here in Tilton, they
It's not
don't,
the
but
way.
a lot of them work stewards or other off shift or per diem at Waterville on the shifts they're not covering and things like that. So it is one of the few careers out there where you could hold 2 entirely full-time careers running the same time.
Sure, I know a couple of our guys work the ski patrol in the
Yep.
winter and stuff like that, but I think they do that mainly
For
for the
free
tickets,
the
yeah.
the family passes
Yeah,
that they
oh,
get
yeah.
and stuff like that.
I'm really having a hard time swallowing $2 2 years in a row.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna.
I know last year, we knocked it down. I think he wanted,
2.6 or something.
well, I'm just saying dollar amount for the base, he
Yeah,
wanted
I
like
asked for, like-
1980 or like.
I asked for like 263 last year.
I thought it was something like that. That just seemed to come to mind. And
But
then
we went, I don't know if we went out.
We've at the budget committee, we worked on what was the average of around here, and that's where you settle.
Like 1963, was it 1963, was it back, yeah, 1960, so. I think you were in the 1980s and we were in the 1960s.
Yeah, so,
I'm just playing the years, not the
Yeah.
dollars, so.
I know.
But now we're in the 2020s.
We are.
It's tough.
So theoretically, if you went half of that, the cost of living would be about half of that. And I'm just trying to figure out, looking at maths, of a dollar increase, that'd be about 4.8, 4.9. I don't know if all the formulas come into it, throw it completely out of whack, but just trying to figure it
4.55.
approximately. That's what I
Well,
was
if it's
kind of
9.1, it's half of that.
Well, that's what I was
4.55,
thinking,
yeah.
is where if that was half and that was half, if that was right, or if the cost of living had some
4.6.
mini formula, 4.6.
Yeah, I have,
Roughly.
it's based on 9.2.
Okay.
Oh, no, two.
Yeah. but I know, we had the same argument at Lakes Region. Where the proposed raise was 13.2%, because the dispatchers at Lakes Region, you compare them to Concord Fire Alarm and the other dispatch agencies that are similar to what they are, they're 13.2% below where those folks are right now. And they didn't get the 13.2%. By one vote. And so, I understand the argument, I understand the responsibility, but it's my job to try and present to
Yeah.
you what I think
Yeah.
we need to be paying as a fire department here to maintain the quality of our people and the service that we provide.
No, I respect you, that I definitely expected, potentially agree or disagree on this one, because you are doing your, for the force. I fully support that.
I mean, if you want to make it easier on me, let them form a collective bargaining agreement and you can argue with them individually and I will have to do it. But I don't think you probably want that either.
No, I don't, I'm not even thinking that's part of it, unless that's the concern that is being put out there, and then
It's
it'd be,
not.
okay. Because, I mean, really, the $1 difference is, in the overall piece of things, is just dropping the 52,000 increase down to 26,000 increase, which seems like a drop in the overall budget. But this, trying to sell it to, and this is just one person speaking, trying to sell it to the public, I think that is a better chance of it passing than going for the 2.55, which could end up the same as your dispatch, where the public says none, and knock it right back down. There's a much better
Well,
chance.
they got a raise, it just wasn't, 13.2%.
Right. I think that
they got a
it's,
7.5% raise.
I think even that would be a fight, but I think the 4.6 is a very,
It's just the problem that we're in as a society right now, is
Yeah.
the cost of everything is going up.
Mhm.
And, you
including
I use the
taxes.
McDonald's argument, every one of the McDonald's workers will make $15 an hour. Well, guess what? Now, to go get a breakfast, it costs you $11.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's because you gotta pay,
Yeah.
Employees,
you gotta pay the
if they don't
employees.
pay them, they're
You know,
not there.
The gallon of milk was $2.59 last year, now it's $3.99, it's the same thing, but it's because of the clerk ringing you up at Cumberland Farms, she's making more money. Or he.
Yeah. And there's more hazards to this field. I'm trying to support it, but I can't see that.
We're asking people to go risk their lives, run into a fire. You never know if they're gonna, they're going to a job where they never know if they're gonna come home alive.
Let me ask you something, Eric. What about the poor person on Social Security?
Well, no, I'm,
All I'm saying is, you gotta look out for them too. I mean, they don't get a raise. They don't get extra
Actually,
money
they
for
are
that.
getting a raise.
They
getting a
are, well,
raise.
in January.
8.7%.
Yeah. It's the first one they've ever get,
No,
well,
they got one last year too.
a very little one last year.
No, it was a big one last
Yeah.
year.
well, I get it.
And I'm not saying that's fair.
I'm not saying they don't get a raise, but I think 9.1 is way out of line, so that's my opinion. I mean, we've had guys leave and come back. 2 guys leave and come back, and there must be a reason for it. We've had guys from other
What do you
companies.
think the reason, why do you think they came back?
Evidently, it must be something. It could be
Could be the culture, it could be all that, which is great.
It's all of it. It's the culture.
Well, I'm
it's-
sure it is.
It's the leadership within the department. It's the support from the commissioners on training and.
So it's really not, it
personnel.
really weren't the money, because when they left, they went to a city that paid a lot more than we did, a lot more.
Actually, they were looking for better work hours.
Better work hours
Yeah.
for
So evidently, we must have better
traveling and
work
things
hours.
like that.
We equal other departments now. They left us to go to a department where their hours were better than ours.
Well, they were like a 3-day shift or something?
Well,
Was it Kelly, or were they 10 and
That's what we
14s?
had.
Or?
that's when we had the Kelly.
Oh, it was back when we had the Kelly, so they went to the standard 4 days, one per
Yes,
shift. They went somewhere with that, and then when we went to that, they came back to that.
right,
Okay, so that's part of the equation there. So yes, there is a culture here that they like here, and the reason that they left was because of that, the
The
Kelly
works, yeah.
outside the norm schedule because of other places.
right,
And so they came back once they had that.
right.
And then there was another that left where the culture where he went wasn't,
Yeah.
and he's driving twice as long now to get here.
Yes, he is.
I know for myself, I had to make a decision because my cost of living was going up. And my pay was not equaling it. And, well, in 2 weeks it'll be different, but I had to make a choice because I had to make those decisions that we're talking about. Do I pay my electric bill or do I put gas on it?
I know everybody's feeling the pinch. Everybody is. It's, nobody's immune to it unless you're very wealthy. And nobody around here is, not that I know is very wealthy. Oh, I know a few people that are, but I don't associate with them.
What's the impact on the tax dollar? Another question, I'm sorry. The 1.8 total of just this. I'm not even trying to get into the other apparatus and all that, but if we were to go with what we've done to this point, and pretty much this almost closes it out, where if you went to 1.89, what would be the tax impact for each town? If that's an easy thing.
Okay,
If
hold
it's
on.
not, tell me to go.
So are you talking, going with what the chief proposed for,
So, yes, so the chief
Okay,
right
so
now
let
is
me-
saying 1.896.
right, so let me,
Okay. Because I'm gonna ask adjustments to that, so, sorry.
all right, so let me scroll down.
I went to page 9.
I'm
This is
gonna
roughly
go
total fire.
with. Oh, okay, so let's see. Oh, I don't have that.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so hold on,
I just know we have a formula.
we do have a formula, I just
Great.
have to look it up. It's gonna change, of course, with, when the tax rates are set.
Yeah.
So let me just get that information.
Are either of the communities being assessed this year or anything like that? Because that,
Northfield was last year, but I'm not sure if they're getting hit with it again. Last year it didn't go over well.
Oh,
I don't think Tilton is, because we, when our budget, it just was like, we budget
so
for
let me write this number
10,000
down.
years, and every 5 years it comes up,
yeah,
Because then my next question is gonna be what the impact of a $1 versus that 1.95.
Because the impact's gonna be different in each town though, isn't it?
Well, the percentage,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see the numbers on that as well, because like the people who aren't, that are on social security and things like that, what is the jump going to be?
Yeah.
so currently, if my proposed budget is
You had it?
$76,000 over what it was last year. With a couple of the adjustments, we're down to like 55,000 or so,
Mhm.
which brings
Is
the,
that with the adjustments that we made tonight?
that's off the top of my head, I don't have
Yeah.
this, I don't have a working spreadsheet in front
Well,
of me.
I do.
Oh,
Give me a sec.
yeah, pretty much this difference is the salaries is what,
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, for the fire side of it. The apparatus is a completely different.
The overall percentage increase that I proposed was a 2.4% increase in the budget. It's a pretty low percentage
It is.
increase considering that we
You've
have the cost of living for everything for us. So
impacts on supplies and materials and fuel, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's 26,000 where, but it could be 52,000 where it's,
I keep coming up with 42,000 and I don't know why,
For what?
the difference.
probably because of that 10,000, we did reduce the,
I reduced it 20,000.
yeah. Right, but it's only really 10 less than last year, instead of 20 less, because last year it was 110.
Right.
That's what's probably throwing us all off with that.
Probably.
Yeah. Because I don't know what, right now, it's because of the government and the whole coming out of everything that the cost of living increase is so high. The government is not gonna be able to keep going this way, it's gonna lead into a
Well, that
cliff in any year now.
I hope, I went to my financial advisor, I said, what's going to happen and stuff like that.
A recession's coming, in my opinion.
It's gonna happen sooner or later.
Mhm.
The problem, he said, is that everything is still rising in costs.
Uh-huh.
And they're trying to counter that with the increase in the interest rates and stuff like that. But what the interest rates has done has slowed down house buying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hasn't slowed anything else down yet. They're trying to strike a balance to slow down the increase of costs. But if you look at New Hampshire, especially in this area, we need more housing,
Mhm.
especially housing in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, you know, where people that are working at New Hampshire Ball Bearing and
Mhm.
Eptan, you know,
Yeah. Workforce housing.
workforce
Yes.
housing that, you know, 2 or 3 kids, you know,
The email I got today, the state is $50 million for affordable housing, 1,500 new
Yeah.
units to each department.
Yeah.
But,
that's a drop in the bucket of what's really
oh,
needed.
no, and
Yeah,
Right, but it's
That's
now
across the
getting
state.
it,
It's
and
not-
where you can put it in, because that's the whole battle with Northfield, is that where you can put it in.
yeah.
Because it has to be an R2,
Well, you have to adjust your zoning
Zoning, right.
to allow things like that. And,
Right.
and there was an article in the paper about how the zoning in this area came to try and restrict
Mhm.
younger families from moving in because they don't want to bring children in to increase your schooling costs, because that's the major cost within
That's
a
what
town.
some people say, yes,
But-
not saying the townspeople on the boards were doing it that way for the one right over on 140.
Right,
It wasn't that, it was the wrong location for it.
so I agree, yeah, but at the same time, if you don't want to bring younger families in to maintain your quality, your workforce, you end up just having an older population that requires more services on the other end, and you don't have the people here to work with, you don't have the nurses and everything else that you need to support the older workforce. You have to really step back and look at the really big picture and not just focus in on one thing when you're trying to accomplish something.
So I went in, Chief, and I took out the contingency fund because that's a warrant article. So your percentage increase of the budget is only 1.28% over last year, taking out that contingency fund.
And the contingency was,
24?
26, I don't know.
Yeah,
29.
but that was a warrant article, so we can't count that into
right,
this.
okay, yeah.
Last year was 29,404. So, right now, you haven't put in the legal fees,
Right,
so,
that's one of the things floating for this part of the budget.
right, so right now, your budget is at 2,000,000, $926,435, which is a 4.65% decrease over last year.
Okay, can you say that one more time? 2 million,
$2,926,435, which is a 4.65% decrease. That's using the salary figures that the chief had proposed. It does not include the legal expense of $30,000, and reducing the call company by
Couple of the other things.
20,000, and what the other stuff you have decreased. So it's actually a decrease in the budget. If I plug in the 30,000 legal fees that we're saving, which you'll probably do later, but it'll give you a good idea. That is still, that would bring you to $2,956,435, and it's still a 3.58% decrease over last year. With everything that you've done. Yeah, let me come back up here and do this.
trying to see where that came from. I am just not seeing where we came up with that difference.
We came up with the amount of difference that,
The drop, when I look at what was appropriated last year to this, I'm looking for things that were under to just try and see that plus minus difference. So I'm not seeing where all that was acquired from. You know, that might be just my eyes, how I'm looking at it.
I'm looking for it as well.
I mean, I saw on the first page, and I think that was a summary, I'm sorry, page 2, with where it says 4220 fire. The chief's budget for 2023 was, nope, that was still an increase, yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to find where there's a,
Did you take out the 5,500 that we had for the health insurance?
I did,
Okay.
because that's now a warrant article.
Right. But you took that out of the chief's budget?
Let me just double check. I did.
Try to help insurance.
yeah, I'm just trying to see where
Oh,
the deltas are that show a decrease.
let me just double check the,
Just the, God, I can't even talk.
I mean, I see one increase of about 5,000 for retirement in line 230. That's a less
Page is in.
on page 3.
About 5,000.
Yeah, but it's minuscule, but that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to go through and find a whole bunch of these for that percentage offset.
What about the chief's budget doesn't include the executive pay?
I saw that, but we had it in there under ours is 95. So I'm kind of looking between the chiefs and ours as
Yeah,
I
no,
compare to 2022 appropriated going down.
Why is that? Oops, wrong line.
Center Street Station was a decrease,
Maintenance
yep,
on,
about 1,600. Ladder guy, nope, that's an increase overall of that.
I'm double checking the figures for Medicare and Social Security.
It could be in revenue, could be offsetting it dramatically, making that decrease.
I'll make sure.
Contingency fund?
Contingency fund on what page here?
5.
Page 5. Getting close. Okay, yes, I'm getting that.
We don't have a number in there.
so
Right, but his budgeted amount for it is up still. Minuscule, but it's still up. I mean, right now, it's the biggest decrease is salaries, 421.10, and that's a 70,000 difference at the moment. But it changed, oh, actually I should just do the bottom part of it because that sums it all together. Nope, that does go up when we do it that way, okay. Up there it's different.
I don't see any.
Yeah, IT. So it's all small, 1,000, 5,000, 6,000.
It is, all small stuff.
It's probably revenue income is what's making that decrease of what it is, because I've only found like 6 things on quick scan from appropriate in 2020 to budgeted for either chiefs or commissioners. I was looking at both those as I went down to see if there was, because some wasn't.
so
I can only see revenue or something throwing it off.
The
Well,
revenue
revenue
wouldn't
is-
throw it off because
the
that's
revenue's
at
at
the
the
top. It doesn't show up at the bottom.
and the revenue's a reflection of the bottom, actually broke it down into the tax rate. The other revenue is really minuscule.
Just double check
But
this
that's
thing.
where I'm not seeing, you got vehicle repairs,
It's down.
that's
Maintenance.
down about 10,
Yep.
okay.
Yes, a decent one. I mean,
Diesel's
Oh,
up.
That's odd.
that's high.
yeah,
It's doubled.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
I didn't guess.
yeah, so that went up, but,
Electricity went up,
Everything's,
a bunch of insurances went up.
right, but I'm just trying to find those things for the, showing for the, we made the downward. Everything went up, and that's why when her number was, we overall decreased from last year, I was trying to see where that decrease materialized. How it happened, because all of our numbers have gone up, but the overall is down by a percentage from the budget. I mean, that's great math for our benefit.
I know, it's down $105,946, and I don't
Right.
understand.
Right,
Because the Chiefs went up $39,852.
right.
So, but that was only 1.28%, so I'm going to assume that
Because of the percent on the wages.
we didn't do anything there.
Well,
It was just, what?
What'd you find?
oh, it's been bugging me since we started this
What?
discussion. How do I put it? In the chief's proposal, he went up 9.1%.
In salaries and wages,
Salaries and wages, right?
yes.
But that increase is only $12,000? That's not 9.1%.
It's more than $12,000.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, it's a lot more than that.
yeah,
A lot more.
the wages and salaries at 9%.
But he's only, but we're saying, pull up my magic calculator.
Yes, please.
So this is
Please.
the number last year, right? 1191. Is it 057?
Yes,
057.
for
right?
salaries, salaries and wages.
Times 9.1% is $108,000.
Okay. All right.
But his increase on the paper is only $12,485.
You lost me on that part of it. So I'm
All right, so, looking at the paper, let me,
I followed the first half of it, but somewhere in the second half, my logic
Well, I
dropped
guess
off.
my logic would say that the increase would be higher.
Yes.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you just go 1191,057,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
times, if I'm doing this wrong, let me know, 9.1%
Mm-hmm.
is $108,000.
Right, and he had 102, or he had,
120,
so it is 100.
1203,541.52.
right. That is only an increase of $12,485 from this number to this number.
It is.
Yes, do the math.
Well, let me pull up last year's.
But then Eric, what you're saying? Oh, because his formula 9 point is a combination of this number down
no,
here.
I'm just talking this.
Right, but I'm seeing this as 1.2 million as opposed to 1.08 million. Just in
Where are you
basic
getting
salaries.
where are you getting?
That's the number you just had.
No, that was 108,000 increase
Increase, thank
From
you.
this.
Got it.
from this number to this number.
Okay. All right, that's the part
That's
I missed
what-
with you.
When
that.
you're saying,
Okay.
when we're saying 9.1%, but yet we're only increasing our salary line by $12,000.
Got
That
it,
doesn't
okay.
add up to me.
No, that part, the increase word is, okay, so
I don't
108,
know.
387 like you just had, plus 191,057.
Where did
I missed
that number come from?
No, I did.
Hold on.
You guys lost me there.
Hold on.
Okay. This is the number you had, I wrote that down at least. Plus, and last time I missed a number. 1191.
Well,
What the heck am I doing wrong? Plus your number over there now. Alright. Now, the problem is this is an average of all of that, because I just added that number and what you came up with as the, and it comes to 1.299.
Right. That's just on career, that's just on
Just on the career, right, which is
So,
96,000 less, right there, just on the career.
this line is 96,000 less than that,
Right,
but yet we're only saying it's a $12,000 increase from that to that. The math isn't adding up to me.
yeah. Not the only one.
okay, like, you know, everything gets double checked tomorrow after tonight.
As much as I'd like to see it only go up $12,000.
Yeah, I would be.
I don't want to all of a sudden see us $100,000 short in payroll next year.
Oh, you're not gonna be.
It comes down to taking this out of the equation.
Yeah. Something screwy.
It is.
0, 2.
I double checked.
Like, that makes sense, the holiday pay pretty much makes sense.
Plus 2, 2, 7, 5. Okay.
All right, so 1203542, that's right. 59607, that's right. 20279.
What's the difference?
That's right.
That's what I'm looking for.
So I don't
The
understand.
percentage increase, okay, I see what you're saying, the difference of those two. Because I just took that whole call salaries and wages out of it, because
Yeah.
that's throwing me,
Yep.
Yeah, that'll throw you off.
it has really messed with it. So I have a sum minus that for the full-time benefits of $1,545,944. And then the same grouping came out appropriated last year is $1,493,619. And that's, I'm working the difference of those two right now, dollars, and now look at it for a percentage as well. Minus. So it's a difference of the 52,325, right where we were on that.
Yep.
Okay. So we're back to where we were 40 minutes ago. All right. And that's at the chief's 9.6. Okay. So now.
Hmm.
And all that does, it comes out as 9.6. I'm seeing, yeah. So that part of the math is right. That's how we coming up with the decrease that you're finding is where.
The math is all right, so I don't get it.
Same, because I mean, unless there is dramatic savings on the apparatus and equipment that we haven't gotten to yet.
But that wouldn't have any effect on this.
Right, and that's how I thought, but,
Apparatus and Equipment Fund has no effect on this.
right.
So,
I need to find a page of this before we make sure we use it.
I mean, somehow, we're,
I will double check.
Yeah.
Make sure that all of the expenses are correct, which they are. So, let's see.
Unless there's an error in the spreadsheets and like a formula.
I'm not finding it because I've double checked them all. Yeah,
I
and
don't
the
think we're
chief
gonna
put
solve
in
this one,
pressurized hydrants in his,
which we haven't touched.
right?
Okay, I'm not sure the impact was that.
131,000.
40, so let's see. That's right, that's right,
They're on page 9.
that's right.
131,040.
Yes.
Part of the difference is that the chief does not budget for the executive, which is the elected officials,
Yeah.
and you do.
I saw that difference of the 96
Yes.
we had in there.
So,
I have a question.
Please,
Oh, why is that?
shed light.
On page, and I'm just sort of asking, I just see it. On page 2,
Yes,
personnel administration, $883,944.
yes.
Where's that come from?
That is the total of 4155. And it's actually less than that because we took out 5,500. So that's the health insurances, the the group insurances, social
Gotcha.
security, Medicare,
Okay,
retirement,
thank you. No, I
unemployment.
got you now.
Okay,
Well, 'cause I don't see the chief's number for total salary and wages on a line on the
well,
front page.
that is covered under
Fire.
4220,
4220.
under fire.
Oh,
For
so
the
that must,
1.8.
oh, okay, there must
Right.
be other things in there.
It's rolled into there.
Yeah, I got you, right.
Yeah.
I was scratching.
Hey, that's okay.
I'm gonna grasp for straws all day long.
Okay.
So that's good.
I don't think we're gonna solve this one tonight,
Well, I'm going,
unless you come up with a Hail Mary.
Well, the good thing is we meet in 2 days.
Yep. Yeah.
We can take a fresh look at it.
Yep.
And when she
check.
runs those reports and we look at it again, and maybe we'll see something jump
Yeah.
out at
Let's
us.
see, we took out,
Because maybe that will, if we can get a copy of this then, that,
Yeah,
somewhere we're all missing something. So I'm almost saying a fresh set of eyes and a day of recovery from
just
it.
us being fresh.
Could be that too.
I don't mean that.
Because I know it's really getting at her now that she can't find that number.
well, what I'm doing is I'm just going down through to make sure that they all the totals are pulled up into that page 2,
Right.
and they have been,
Okay.
so it's just a matter of, and then I had already checked to make sure that they were all totaled correctly
Mm-hmm.
in each section, so I don't know.
All right.
Is that it?
Is that Hail Mary?
Dun, dun, dun.
Fourth quarter? You're going for it?
8:20 in the evening. 50 minutes past John's end time.
I'm gonna walk into the other
20
meeting
minutes
as it
past Paul's
closes.
bedtime.
Well,
What are you thinking?
I'm looking at page 2.
Okay, we'll go to page
What's on
2.
page 2?
All right.
And due to trust funds and due to capital reserve funds, that's $214,964.
Which line are those?
The bottom.
Too
The
big,
bottom.
That's why I didn't get to them. Hey, there's big gaps.
Okay, now those are warrant articles,
Uh-huh.
which would not be included in the bottom line,
Not yet, because nothing's been approved.
right, because nothing has been approved. And that would not be included in, so that's not in that percentage.
Okay. So that's how it was a much lesser percentage, which looked great, but it's because we're missing those numbers
It's
too.
warrant articles
Okay.
that are throwing it off.
Okay. Well, we figured it out.
That makes me feel so much better.
Okay. So for
And we
Wednesday,
can't put those in until you guys do warrant articles.
could a couple of do outs, Chief, is we get minus the warrant articles, pulling that little variable out of the equation,
Sure.
what the up or down would be
Sure.
on Tuesday, so we can kind of look at that and see where it is.
So
So
what's the,
is the pressurized hydrants gonna be a warrant article? Or what's that gonna be?
I'm not putting it in the budget.
Well, we don't know what is gonna happen
We'll-
Saturday.
Right, we'll find out Saturday on that one, but either way, well, yeah, because then it may go in the budget if it was passed on Saturday.
all right, so I'm gonna quickly take those figures out right now, so that so you will know tonight.
All right.
Back to page 2, so if I do 0, 0, 0, 0, and I should take out the
Everything from like,
Contingency fund as well, because that's a warrant article.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
Okay.
So let me scroll down now to see what that did. All right, percentage increase 9.16%
Up.
on the chief. Your percentage increase is 4.68% up.
And when you say ours, that's at the,
That's at what the chief proposed for salaries, because you wanted to know what that would affect.
okay, yep.
Yep, so that's
So 4.6 would, that's the half if we went to $1 versus the
4.68.
$2. 4.68.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much the increase on the budget is just whatever we do for a cost of living, roughly. Whatever we come up to for a final decision on that one. Okay. Everything else, you really worked tight and we saw that.
So I just put those numbers back. So now that we know what they are, that's creating this issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So where are you guys at with that? You want time to stew over it? You wanna,
Do you want to pick a, do you want, I can work up numbers for the next meeting if you wish.
so essentially the 9.1 is for 195 increase on the base salary. I assume, right, that's your 195 equaled out to those 9.1 increase Yeah.
or, I mean, the hourly rate.
for the hourly rate,
Yeah.
because that's really what we're
Yes,
down.
195.
So, and theoretically, the 4.68 is a $1 increase,
Around there, yeah.
which is about a it's pretty much 4.6 COLA versus a 9.1 COLA.
It is.
And that's really what, so far, it's coming down to. I'd like at least a night to sleep on this.
You'll get two.
You will get two.
You may only get one if we don't end this meeting.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to push the vote on this one tonight unless you guys think differently.
No, but I'd like the night to stew over it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see it in print.
Right, so what would you like to see in print?
That's what she's asking for.
I'd like to see it both ways.
Which ways?
The 1.9 and the
or whatever.
1.0.
Yeah,
The chief's 1.95 and then that is his hourly,
Oh, the
Base pay.
increase.
yeah.
base pay hourly, and then the $1 base pay hourly
All right,
comparison.
all right, so let me write this down. So you want
I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got that.
okay.
increase,
I could
$1
put
per
it
hour.
and say $1.50.
versus.
Do you want it?
No,
Throw another variable
no, I
there?
could just.
No, if you want it, tell me now.
Because she could just put it.
Do $1.50.
And, okay.
Plus one.
That's right.
Okay,
Somewhere
so
in the middle.
put it, okay, we'll put it in there.
Allows us to see what it looks like.
Yep. Do you want,
No, that's fine.
that works for you, or
That'll
did you
do.
want, okay,
That'll look fine.
okay. Alright, so yeah, just like a comparison of that, because this is really what it looks like it's coming down to.
Okay.
Thank you for the hard work and the brains. A little painful tonight.
Yeah, I don't know why it took so long for you to
I'm getting
finish that.
punchy now too.
Alright, well, then one of you want to escape us?
Motion to adjourn.
Alright, a motion was made at 8:27 by Eric and seconded by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Non-debatable.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad we actually started it tonight because that would lead to another meeting for sure.
Yes, thank you for starting it
Yes.
tonight because
Yeah.
What happened in Urban?
The apparatus and
Fire.
equipment fund is just gonna fly.
Yeah, that I looked at, and we
You know,
go through that
fuel,
pretty quick. I was thinking we'd knock everything out, but this would take,
Throw away all that.
having this and having those
That's up to
numbers will
health.
make this a little bit easier where we
Yeah.
might be able to accomplish it.
Yeah,
Cooler.
it definitely will,
The wiring.
so.
somehow.
So thank you for pushing us to do it.
Paper that
Oh, you're welcome, anytime.
It wasn't a bad fire, but it was,
Did it use water?
we used.
Tank water? Tank?
APW,
Okay, or tank water?
yeah,
That's good answers.
yeah, because there is a hydrant there.
Yeah, no.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad.
Oops, did you shut the recorder off?
I did.
I
And
gotta
the
shut
other fire
the
we had
video off.
today, we used tank water.
Well, maybe tomorrow I'll be a billionaire.
You have a picture of that.
Yeah,